What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 77. Always happy to be here for you guys. Joined by two of the three resident homies tonight. Joseph is hitting his skins hard at a Last Lucy jam, getting ready for some shows that they're doing. We should actually plug those shows again. I don't know. We should have been prepared with that. You're still muted, Joel.
I'll look him up, see if I can pull him up.
Yeah,
in a little while.
All right, but either way, miss you, Joseph. Maybe he might pop in tonight. That'd be awesome if he does. But if not, I'm with Joel and Casey. My name is Anthony. What up, y'all? And tonight we're joined by my brother, our brother. Worked with him for several years and love him to death. We got Troy Fullerton back over a year later. What's up, dude?
Right on.
Yeah, I was thinking
Stoked
like
to be here.
It's been what number was this? The severed episode was 3, right? Or 4? Something like
Yeah,
that.
it's over a year ago. It's like
Yeah, I've seen the what's it called, the
20th or
memories come
something?
on. Yeah, the
2020?
memories show up on Facebook. It's like fuck, that was a year ago already. Like Severed was a year ago. Like that's like been over like a year and 2 months or something.
Yeah, so it's been we've done it every week. So 54 episodes ago, it's just a year and 2 weeks, dude. So what's going on,
crazy.
Troy? How are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm like trying to do math in my head. This is not working right now.
It's all good. I'm ripping the
Pour
old
this
school,
in.
dude. I fucking found this recently, dude. I
Oh,
love this
shit.
shirt, dude. Look at that print, dude.
Carnivorous.
Still
Yeah,
in
the
good
small-
condition. Wow.
Yeah, dude. The
That's-
small gray with black logo print.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Carnivorous
that's
shirt.
super
Yeah.
rare.
For people that
Yeah.
don't know, Troy was basically obviously Severed Savior and stuff. Anthony started his own project with Dan Kenny, who's in Suicide Silence now, and Troy jumped in on drums. And how old were you guys when that started?
I was 19 when we started that band. and
Jesus.
Yeah, I think, or 18, 19 or something, or maybe 19 was when Troy came in the mix. I can't remember, but either way, it was, those
Somewhere around there.
years right after graduating high school is when Dan and I started doing that. And very quickly, Troy jumped in as the first human. I was the drum programmer and vocalist. And then,
Were you programming it like with the? Were you doing the pads or did you have it programmed? Or were you just
no,
going, Okay.
I programmed. No, there's no way I'd be
Was it
able to fucking do that,
a
dude.
Dr. Rhythm or something, or what was it called?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
yeah,
Dr.
one of those.
Rhythm.
You like tap in the beats, like,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
blast beat.
And there was a button that you hold to like just flood it with double bass. So you just hold the button and then hold the double bass down, and they'll just play it at 30 seconds.
Yeah. No, that shit was fucking.
And you pick your tempo, and there's like each there was files, or like I don't know what they called them. It wasn't files, but there was just open basically space for you to make a track, and I didn't know how to link it all together, so I'd sit there, high as shit. Dan's playing his riffs, and I got this little tiny thing in my lap, and I'm just turning knobs, like and you have to like know, okay, we're gonna do this for 2 measures, so I gotta halfway through the second measure link up the next file, so it'll hit right after that one finishes. And sometimes I fuck up and got over it and said, hey, Troy, dude, I'm tired of this, dude. I need a human.
You know what's funny is a quick little story on like doing little machine stuff. When the first inception of Brain Drill was just me and Dylan and a drum machine, and so he had like a few songs and stuff, and we had this drummer try to learn it, and I'm like, this one drummer can like blast all crazy or something. This is actually probably even before I met Casey. I don't even know, but it was a long time ago, and he basically got this like keyboard that had a drum program on it. And he was trying to show the drummer. He's like doing Brain Drill on this little keyboard. He's like, he's like just like freaking out. And he like actually could kind of do it. I was actually pretty impressed. But
I actually, I had a keyboard that you could do all the drum samples on each key, and if the snare and the kick drum were close enough to where you could just like position 3 fingers, you just go.
Oh yeah, that's what he did too. He had like little like
Yeah. Well, dude, did you have like the arpeggio thing, or arpeggiator or whatever? Like I had
that would probably help.
a Roland XP10. I had this, and you just like turn on the arpeggiator, and you go to like the drum setting, and you just hold down. So,
Yeah, there you go.
and you just like it's like whatever, probably at 240 with 120 beats a minute, 30
Right.
seconds or something, So
Oh, yeah.
whatever. But yeah,
Fun stuff.
rock and roll.
Troy, do we have do we want to plug anything? Now we can plug some Severed stuff. Dude, we got a merch store now, right?
Yeah, got some
Where-
stuff in it. Should be more stuff coming pretty soon. I don't know.
Is
I need
it
to check in on that,
severedsavior.us?
Yeah, severedsavior.us. All the current stuff in there, and then
I think
working
it's
on getting, like the full album art shirts and other stuff coming soon.
sick.
Probably some other cool
That's
things
awesome.
as we get into summer.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
we'll make some flip flops.
Shit, beat us to it.
Oh, dude. Now we gotta race, dude. First one to put out sandals, dude.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. Cali Death Sandals.
It's just the
Well,
fucking
we gotta wait
sandal
for that
scandal,
then.
dude.
Yeah.
It's funny to see the severedsavior.us because that's what was carnivorous.us.
Yeah.
I've never heard of any other website having .us except for
No.
Severed Savior and Carnivorous.
That's like
I
when
think-
shit was people were running out of .coms and they're like, because carnivorous is like obviously pretty popular, like a term, So there's, dude, me and Carrie were, and the project me and Carrie and fucking Casey are doing. He wanted to get a domain that's because now there's like funny ass domains. He was gonna make it allrealm.pizza.
Nice. There you go. I like that.
I actually
It's easy to
back
remember.
it hard, dude.
Yeah.
I back that very hard.
Just nobody go to fecalphiliac.com. Just
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Fecal-
probably not a good one.
Fecophiliac.sushi.
good idea.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
Anthony,
Jesus.
Oh man.
it's too early for that. We haven't even got.
Well, I
was
was
already
even-
ate.
dot foods, dude. Come on.
Is it? Is this from experience? Is there? No.
No, but I got some of that merch though. Right when it went on sale, I got that. It's just the Severed logo one with like a yellow outline with the black middle. It's fucking sick, dude. I've been rubbing that thing everywhere. Are
Yeah,
they? So is it? Are those coming from Indonesia or something? Because I know that there's a lot of those fans that are making merch for like bands that are like
brutal
really,
minds and stuff. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Right. The yellow outline is it's just kind of a new take on the classic like black and white outer glow one. But we did have the Forced to Bleed and Brutality stuff that came from Lindung Productions, Rama
Okay.
Lindung in Indonesia. And
Okay.
yeah, Brutal Mind really wants to do some stuff too, but kind of trying to like spread it out a little bit.
Definitely.
So we're not like stepping on people's toes. And there's a new company in India that's, I guess, trying to hit up bands and do merch. And then there's another one in Russia too. But
Yeah, Joseph was
It's
saying
a-
Bangladesh is actually a spot now to get merch made for good
Yeah.
prices and all that stuff. He was talking to some people while he was over there.
Is there any survival merch?
I wasn't-
What up,
wasn't
Sam?
ignoring you,
What
Sam.
up, Sam?
Yes, eventually Servile. Yeah, probably Servile before Brutality and Forced to Bleed, just because we just did that with the Indonesian stuff. I don't know. We obviously gotta get things together and then run it by everybody, but the plan is eventually to have it all available again. But
Definitely.
the outline stuff and the current beanies and all the logo stuff that we have on the severedsavior.us is, I would say, made in the US. It's actually, there's various places that they make it, just kind of depending on where you're ordering it from.
Yeah.
So it's like on demand, basically.
Definitely. Very cool.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like apparently people that were ordering that when it first went live in like places like Germany, for example, which normally you'd have to make it here and then ship it, and it'd be weeks before they'd get it. Like they were literally getting their stuff in the 2 days,
Wow.
and it was
Damn.
taking like a week and a half here. I was like, what the hell?
Damn.
Took forever for mine to come.
Crazy.
But yeah,
Right
So
on, dude.
on top of that, you're doing the podcast, or you're doing the Twitch streams now, right? You're
yeah,
spanking
new
the
venture,
drums.
new I don't know what you call it, venture project or something to do. I've been really procrastinating on getting a rehearsal space and getting playing again and getting back into musical projects and letting work rule my life for the last few years. And it was kind of funny that I started watching, got exposed to other people on Twitch and started watching that. And that kind of really inspired me to get going and get playing again. And then once I was doing that, I was like, wow, I have some cameras and stuff. Like, that looks fun. I want to do that. So
Yeah.
Who were some of the players that
give
inspired
it a
you?
shot. I think the first time recently, like, because I had checked out Twitch way back in, like, I don't know, 2016 or something like that, and pretty early on, and it just seemed like it was all gamers. And then I remember when Alex Bent started streaming, and I checked it out again, but it didn't really seem like there was much for music,
Yeah.
at least what I had found, or maybe I was searching for the wrong thing. But I want to say it was like December sometime. I saw some posts on Facebook that Scott Carstairs from Fallujah was having his 1 year anniversary subathon thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I like Fallujah. I'll check that out.
Mhm.
And then not too long after that, there was the Murdog Fest
Yeah, that's
charity stream fest to raise money for diabetes research. And so I watched that, and I watched a lot more of that one than Scott's, and I was like, holy shit, there's all kinds of cool people on here. So then I just started kind of diving in, and then it got to a point where I was like watching it 4 hours a day, and I was like, okay, I got to cut back a little bit.
Yeah.
Sounds like Joel, you got hooked by it too, right?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was definitely first. It was actually, I think, actually what it was. I mean, between the Buried and Me, and I know Alex Bentz had his thing. With all the musicians that were on there, I thought they were just playing video games, though I didn't know they were jamming. And then I would start to see Alex post like little clips of him jamming and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then between the Buried and Me had a live stream that was only on Twitch during the pandemic. And I was like, oh, this is fucking sounds great. And it's live and it's just one time. And this is the time you can catch it. And that's it. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And then we had Max from Anomalous on. And Max was basically like, I'm going on Scott's. I've seen Scott's postings of it. I just never checked it out. He's like, hey, I'm going on Scott's Twitch tomorrow. Do you want to check it out? You should come check it out. So I went and checked it out. And I was like, this is actually pretty fucking fun. Like, I'm interested in it. And like, people they're responding to you, and you're basically watching TV where you're talking and they're talking back to you, and it's kind of a fun thing. And especially like if you're just end of the day had nothing to do, just chilling and hanging out with some of your friends and watching them jam and stuff like that and freestyle. And I was always worried about the lag or something, with like them jamming and freestyling, and it seemed to be fucking pretty dead on. It seemed the sound was better than I expected. Like, and then Justin McKinney from Zenith Passage, I'd watched those two a bunch, and the sound was actually sick, and the music worked with the sound, and it wasn't like overwhelming, and I could hear the guitar player, I could hear the drums, I could hear everything, and I was like, fuck, this is actually pretty interactive, So, and then just went down the rabbit hole, like Murray too. I know Murray, when I went in, Murray was like at the top of his like Twitch game. Like everyone was just like the whole time, everyone was like, fucking shout out Murray, Jedi grind, Jedi grind, Jedi grind. Like everything I'd ever go to was just them saying Jedi grind a million times. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So Murray's locking up the industry with this, And then Murray hit me up recently and was like, I gotta take a break, man. I'm doing it way too much. It's like, I'm staying on it all day and shit, So it definitely can get addicting.
Yeah, for sure. And Max was actually the one that made me get an account too, because I mean, who doesn't want to watch Max from Anomalous? Just
so sick,
just
so good,
dude. Because he's probably like one of the best improv soloists in extreme metal underground.
Yeah, he's
definitely
insane. Yeah, I saw his clip he just posted the other day. It was really sick.
Yeah, dude. And what's cool is like people challenge him with songs to shred over, and he does it, dude.
It's sick as
Oh
fuck.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
And also shout out to Andrew Baird. He just did his 420 like stream yesterday, right? And it was his birthday recently, and that was like his birthday stream and stuff. And
I guess 2-year anniversary for Twitch. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he also, like, him and Scott Carstairs are good friends, and they've both been on the podcast. And I was actually talking to Scott yesterday, asking him some questions about Twitch, and the community. These guys are like so like cool and like helpful. It's like it's awesome. And so like Alex Bent, like all these people I'm mentioning are like the nicest people like in the world. Like
Totally,
you know,
dude.
and just like you too,
Definitely.
Troy. Like, you know, like you're just like the coolest people. So like I
Well-
love supporting all you guys. Like I want to come watch your shit. It's sick.
Dude, check out
And
this
that's why
random
they all
person who's
have,
on
And
here.
shred too.
We got Lee Smith. Lee Smith is fucking on here right now. Look at that.
Oh, is that Lee? No way.
Yeah, I've been
What up,
messaging
Lee?
with him. Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, what
Damn,
up?
I miss
bro?
Lee.
Oh
Dude, Lee,
my
co-
God.
Ciara
Lee-
too.
Lee, come on the podcast.
I've been talking to him about it. He's trying to
Dude.
get a
Oh, that'd be
I said
sick.
Ciara.
Lee
He
played
said
that
he
death
needs
track.
he said he needs a webcam because his computer doesn't have one.
Hey, Murray's here. Yay,
So
finally.
for everybody-
There he is.
Oh,
So
there
for
we go.
everybody, Lee Smith was the drummer for Stratosphere in the Palace of Mirror days.
Yep.
Fucking killer drummer, dude.
Murray,
I mean,
Mike.
all the Stratosphere live gigs that I saw were with him on drums, and he was phenomenal every single night. And
Oh, yeah, dude. Lee is
we had a lot of fun. You know, Lee was actually drumming with Odious for a little bit.
Yeah.
Casey
totally.
decided to
Yep.
play guitar for a little bit, dude. So
yeah. we were
there's
writing stuff.
some
Yeah.
unrecorded, you know, nobody knew except for us jams with Lee Smith on drums and Casey on guitar in the living room of the Furniture Dome.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish
when
we had that.
He was gonna play in Decrepit too. I mean, he was in that video with Joel, and also I on the Polarity. He played that death track. I didn't play drums on that.
I have a picture of him with like because it came with the Polarity.
what was that?
It was like
song?
a secret Polarity. I don't know, like European
Yeah.
vinyl or something. And it's on my wall, but it's us all like standing around the orb or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Chase and Lee in it.
And Lee and
Yeah.
Chase.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
Good
so-
times, man.
I remember just okay, I'll bring it back to Severed in a second and Troy, but I was going to say I remember back in those days and some of our homies that were drummers like that, and you were one of them, Troy, but I remember with Lee, like just standing there and being like watching him play stuff and be like, how do you do that? Like what do you I couldn't do what he was doing. Like it was like just like Sean Reinert style stuff, just so sick. And I've spent like the last like 10 years trying to get better at that stuff. And Troy, like, dude, same thing, man. Like you were such a big influence to me, like back in those days when we were such good friends and stuff. And at that studio, we've talked about it before, but man, dude, it's just, I just wanted to get into that too. Like the back in the day, I don't know what kind of timeline we're going to go on with this, but man, like you were such a big influence to me. Like back, I remember just watching, you know, and you were so cool too. That was the thing. And you were just so like Mike Hamilton and all these dudes, you were just like right there, like, what's up, man? Like, and you like showed me stuff and like, I don't know. So I consider you a friend always, but I also am like super influenced by you. And like, you know, I think you're an OG dude to me. I mean, I remember seeing Sever before I knew who you were, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, like these guys are nuts, you know. So respect, man.
Damn.
Love you, dude.
Mad respect.
Fuck yeah.
Oh wow.
So with the
Well, you
Twitch
guys-
climate though, that's actually got you more excited about playing again, huh? It's like
Yeah, it
making
was-
an excuse.
a cool like circular kind of symbiotic thing, right? You know,
Yeah.
it got me listening and watching and thinking about music more again, and then that, you know, got me inspired to play, and yeah. And then now here I am attempting to play in front of people already.
What are you
Yeah.
What are you playing on your streams? What are you jamming? Are you jamming Severed exclusively, or are you because I was out of town when you last went live, but are you jamming to other stuff, or what are you doing?
I've been trying to start off with you know, fun, easier, like 80s, 90s kind of thrash and old school death metal stuff. And was doing, you know, like Megadeth and Pantera and Anthrax and old Suffo and old Cannibal and stuff like that. Because I wanted to not like have a heart attack on a live stream for trying to play the Severed stuff before I was ready again. But the even though I didn't really feel like I was there yet, brain, what day is it? Was it last
Thursday.
night? It was like Monday or Monday I was on, I think, and last night, and both days I had some firm encouragement to play some Severed songs I didn't think I was ready to play, and I was like, well, if you want to see me mess them up, all right. And then surprisingly they went better than I had anticipated, so I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm, you know, being too
Cautious.
too cautious. I should just, yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Yeah.
I know the feeling, dude. I know.
It's got
Kinda like
live as another element to it. Alive,
Yeah,
it's like playing a show kind of, but in your comfortable space, but still it's like a show.
Yeah, and that's how I was approaching it, because like the old kind of methodology for Severed was like practice a fuck ton for one show, because everything has to be perfect.
Yep.
And then I'd still fuck up anyway. But that's kind of like the irony, is that, like, we would practice, and then you still have the variables you can't account for, trigger issues or whatever, audio, bad monitoring or whatever else it is. And so I was coming at it that, like, I got to get my cardio up. I got to get practicing, like, when nobody's watching, and like, record it and feel like I'm doing good at it. It's got to be good enough that if Gilbert sees it, he doesn't cringe. And but yeah, because that whole live thing, doing it in front of people, it's like, oh, I can't, get on here and flail on my own songs.
Yeah, definitely.
You
One
got
thing-
Gilbert
like, I
just
could
watching you, dude. You're just all,
Yeah, yeah.
oh no.
I could play other people's songs and mess them up and be like, well, I mean, it's not my song. I just, but when you're playing your own songs, you're like, it's, I feel like I'm making excuses. Yeah, like a hawk. You feel like you're making excuses, like, well, I haven't played this in 10 years, or,
Yeah.
like, it's one of those things. I didn't want to feel like I literally haven't played them in years and years and years, but, who's going to believe me? Like, oh, he's just fucked up, and he just wanted to, like,
Well,
make an excuse.
I
So
think
that's why I was holding back. Yeah.
it's too much pressure though. Like I feel like okay, like, because I'm thinking about it myself too, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot of things that I want to do on it, but I like not ready to just go on and do like a Joseph, like, all right, whole album playthrough of like, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, god damn it, no, I can't do that. So I don't know, like I mean, you see people on there like streaming their process of stuff, like, writing something, or maybe like practicing or like working on a thing. So
Yeah.
kind of like, all right, I'm like relearning this song, like, bear with me, like, if you, I don't know. I mean, that's how it's going to be with mine, at least. Maybe people won't watch, but
nah, dude, I think that totally is like showing the human aspect of yourself as an artist is something that is interesting to a lot of people. Like, if you put an artist up on a pedestal and make them this like big thing, they become inhuman. Well, when you see that same person be human, then it's like, okay, well, the playing field is leveled, and I can do this shit too. It almost can be like a nudge for somebody, like, hey, there's somebody, this professional drummer that I've been looking up to for years. He's flubbing and he's calling himself out on a stream or whatever. Like that could be the nudge to like, okay, I'm gonna go try and play,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
just knowing that, like, even the greatest players still make mistakes.
Yeah. That's one of the things that, like I said, I was holding back on, is to be in that environment where you
Holy
can't.
shit, are you by a fucking drag race track or something, dude?
what's going on?
I turned my sound effects off.
Oh,
He's all, I just passed gas.
I think that was me, dude.
Was that you?
Did you hear a car just drive by
dude, there's
super hard?
people. There's people get hot rodded all down the street, dude. I live on the
Yeah.
Coast Highway, dude. It's like by the lagoon. They just hot rod down it all the time.
Yeah,
Crazy.
definitely
excuse.
heard that.
Sorry about
Definitely heard
that.
it.
Yeah.
No, it's all good.
No worries. I was just saying, like,
good.
to put yourself in a position of where you can't avoid transparency takes, to me, like, looking in, being on the outside looking in, I was like, oh, that takes some cojones. That takes some self-confidence, some self-esteem that historically I haven't really scored high on those things. That's kept me from taking advantage of a lot of opportunities, things I even put myself out there and asked for, and then got offered them and was like,
Yeah.
Totally, dude. Yeah.
That
but
feeling
like you
is
were
funny.
saying,
I was just gonna say, go when you're like, you want something to happen, and then it's actually going to happen. You're like, oh, I didn't
oh shit,
think it was actually gonna happen, dude.
Tucker moment, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, can I afford it? Can I? Oh, I don't know if I can learn
now
this.
I
That
have
was
to
harder
back
than I
all my
thought.
claims. Now I have to back all my claims and actually fucking do
dude,
it.
I just had a realization. It's because we're old, dude. Okay, here's why. Okay, so like okay, like I've been teaching music lessons for a long time, and I don't do that anymore for my main job, but I do a little bit with some students on the side. But like I've noticed that, like, adult students are super self-conscious about learning, and they want to learn really fast, and they want to that. So it's like us, like we're like
High expectations.
the older we get, we're just like super hard on ourselves. Like, we used to be able to do this, and I can't do that anymore, and all this. And and I always say, it's like with younger students and stuff, they always like, they don't care how much they suck or sloppy they are. They just go for it. They're like, whatever, like, I suck. And they just keep playing, and then they get good because they just keep playing,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
yeah.
And so it's like us when we were younger, we were just like, whatever, just keep playing, and eventually it's good,
Yeah.
And so, and like, even like with Joseph, like playing with Diego and stuff. And like when I first moved back down here from the Bay Area in like 2015, and I was jamming with Diego and stuff, and I was like super self-conscious about like how I could play the stuff, and I wasn't really playing a lot of death metal at the time, and I was like, I don't know, like, and I kept trying to play these songs that he had and stuff, and I couldn't play. I mean, I could, but I just wasn't like in it at the time. And then like, but I was super self-conscious about it. Anyways, I introduced him to Joseph, like about a year or two later, and then Joseph was just kind of like, well, I don't know, I practiced, and like in the beginning he was like, I barely know the song. I got kind of halfway through it, and Diego would just be like, almost, like almost, and he just didn't care. He's like, yeah, I don't know, I was sloppy, and I kept I'm not fast enough here and this and that, but you just keep like chipping away at it. Didn't have any like self-consciousness about it. It was just like, I want to do this, I don't give a shit if I suck until I get it. And it's kind of like when I tried to play in Decrepit, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to figure this out, but I'm going to make it work. Like, I was like, couldn't do it, but
that's a perfect example. I remember your confidence.
I didn't care. I was just like, we'll figure it out.
I couldn't believe your confidence on that drive over to go jam with them. I was like, I could not believe, like, you were just like, yeah, I'm just gonna give it a shot. I don't fucking care. Like, you were kind of like, it was one of those like unachievable things in my head. Like, oh, like that's like one of the hardest things you're about to do, and you just fucking were like, whatever, I'm just gonna go do it, and you were just like, fucking nailed it, and everyone's like, fucking jaw on the ground. But like nowadays, you have too much time and too much, like, you've been alive too long to like see what can go wrong too much, and like I don't know, it's kind of like
after all these years, just this stream, and it's just shit.
Well, yeah, you think
like
about it, like
sloppy shit. And it's just like, they just burn their albums. It sucks.
But when you think about it, though, it's like the older you get, you gain wisdom, right? But like you said, your expectations are higher, and your time becomes more valuable, and so you kind of have more things to lose in a sense, even though most of it's just in your head, whether it's losing face or whatever else. Like you said, when you're young, like you don't know, you can't do it. You don't know, right? You're like, fuck, what if I got to lose? Like, oh, worst case scenario, they're like, oh yeah, thanks, man, we're gonna go with somebody else. You're like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah,
but
totally.
As you get older, it's you're wiser and everything else, but then it's also easier to be more guarded and cautious, because you're like, oh man, it's so much effort to learn the material, and then what if it doesn't work out, and then I spent all that time.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah, that was one of the things, seeing people on Twitch like doing live learns, and people like Mega Mike Drummer is the first one that comes to my head, like just letting people request random songs and just playing along to any song, whether you've ever heard it before or not, and just like, fuck it, like, what has he got to lose? Like, realistically, you're like, well, yeah, what do you got to lose? I mean, you never heard it before, and of course you're gonna, it's not gonna be perfect, but
it's gonna be interesting. That's
people seem to really love watching people attempt things they've never done, and that level of bravery or whatever is pretty inspiring to like see a lot of people like willing to try to learn things that are outside of their comfort zone or outside of their skill level, and they're trying to level themselves up in front of 87 people.
Yeah, and there's no prelude to it. It comes to him right in the moment, and so there's no time to think about it. You just got to do it.
Kind of like sight reading, but at another level.
I don't know. I kind of want to I think it should just be like who gives a shit, dude? You just stream, and you're like, this is real. This is how it is. I'm practicing. Like, I'm doing my shit. Like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do it again. And like, it might be great. It might suck. Like, that's like real practice,
And like laughing it off too, not being mad, but like laughing it off.
Nights. Yeah, exactly.
You can't be like, oh fuck this, and then everyone's
Gotta
gonna
be perfect. Yeah,
That'd
and
be
also
that'd be actually entertaining as shit to see a drummer just like stomping around the fucking room,
breaking his shit every time he fucks up.
well, that's what you guys are.
fucking beat.
Well, that's like you guys were saying. Oh, you should stream like a recording session. Nobody wants to see that shit. Like,
Oh,
dude, you want to see me throw sticks and scream like?
oh yeah.
No, you don't want to see that.
Nobody.
Dude, nobody
Like
wants
the-
to watch that.
Yeah.
No.
The
I just said
27th.
somebody in
Nah.
case he's like, that's me.
No.
Right. Yeah. The 27th
No.
take of me trying to record Forced to Bleed back in the day was like that.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Like what's
I
his
think
name?
we,
that played
I think we
Batman.
might have
who
talked
got
about it, but I
recorded.
remember it. There's so many takes,
Yeah.
right?
Shout out
Oh,
Mike
yeah,
Fudo. He was
Losing
on
your
that last
shit.
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Mike.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
So I guess it's a common thing, guys. You just fucking get pissed.
It kind
at
of
your instruments.
snowballs too, right? It snowballs. Like it seems like when I'm like, let's say I have a riff down or something, and I kind of got it, but I'm like, I could do it better, and then I could do it better, and then you start getting worse and worse at it, and you're just like, fucking, like I could do it a second ago.
Yeah.
My version of that would be like I couldn't get a growl, so I just started punching myself in the throat.
Yeah.
Growl.
Dude, I got it. Reality TV, like Twitch musicians streaming, just pissed, like throwing mics, getting pissed, getting in fights.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
reality TV pissed off. Like, it's not going to be pretty. I hope you're ready for a ride. And like, I don't know, like, but I do think the factor of somebody watching you play and being into it is important because like that's that adrenaline factor. Even back in the day, it's like, oh, going to band practice and oh, dude, bro's bringing like 4 friends and they're gonna watch us play, and it's like, all right, I better fucking shred it for those guys. Right? I don't know who that dude is over there, but I'm
Oh, man.
like, it's like if someone's watching or like or you know your girlfriend's in the back. Oh man, I don't want to say, but I just remember like girlfriends like coming out and then they're like, this solo sounded off or the drums are off and you're critiquing our practice. Damn, dude. But anyways, but yeah. I don't know, man. You got to have that adrenaline, dude. You got to have that, like somebody watching. And that's what like Twitch or online brings to the live. Like if you're just practicing by yourself, you're kind of like, something's missing, dude. Like, you know, you can like, you can entertain yourself a lot, but like when you have some kind of audience, you know, you really feel like I'm going to actually like it brings more music out in a different way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like if I had tried to do this 10 years ago, there would have been lots of throwing of sticks and stuff.
Yeah.
It probably just wouldn't have happened, but something of, like you said, trying to get back to that youthful spirit or take the wisdom you have to like, just be like, you know what, fuck it. Like, what do you got to lose? Do it.
I think
And,
with the words youthful spirit, do make me really think of like what we're going through right now with the last album coming out and then doing the podcast and all that. It's starting to give me that youthful spirit that I do. I'm not fully, I got so many other responsibilities now than I did back then, but like the excitement of creating, like I'm totally in a writing zone right now, and I haven't felt this way about writing in a while. So I have to give thanks to the podcast and all these people that I've been able to talk to for the last year and a half to influence me to get back in that zone. And I'm happy that I'm here now, you know?
Oh yeah. You've been beating it out a bunch lately, dude. Anthony, every time I get into my notes, it's like Anthony updated this song lyrics and Anthony updated. I'm just like, fuck yeah. Dude,
Yeah, I've been chipping away at everything. Like when I can sit down and really get some lines out, that's fun. But like during the day, I like to chip and edit and revise and all that stuff. And in each time I'm doing that, I'm like, I feel in my head, at least, I'm finding better words and places that, you know, it had good words there, but then I find something that works better. And then also synchronicity happens. There's like one word that I was looking for, and then I turn on the fucking radio and there it is. That's the name of the song that was on the radio at the time. And I'm like, dude, that's the fucking word that would work perfect there. And I think that like synchronicity is something that you really need to pay attention to, because it's funny, even if it isn't the universe speaking to you, you could use it to your advantage. You know, you can make it like you can actually use it as a guide in a direction that you didn't realize that you'd be going in, and then boom, there's something a little fucking nugget that you didn't think you'd be finding.
Are you editing your lyrics at work?
Anytime that now it's like with the way that it goes in my head, it's like I'm not reading as I'm talking. So if you want me to read that, you need to say it to me. I'm not going to be reading a sentence as I'm fucking talking. But I don't even know what I was saying now. What was I just saying? Oh yeah. It's just like whenever things ideas pop up, I have one note that I just throw all my miscellaneous shit in, just a line or an idea just goes in there, and then I take it and put it somewhere if it fits somewhere. But or I'll just open up the song and just pay attention to that one song. But yeah, I'm having tons of fun with it right now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm thinking. It's funny. I'm thinking in rhyme. I'm thinking in poetry right now. I woke up this morning talking to myself in my head in rhyme. It's a strange thing, like the way that I've trained my brain. There you go, trained my brain to think right now is to try and find all these poetic ways of saying things.
That's for me. I wake up and I have fucking Stone Temple Pilots, world of drums, some 90s fucking jam will just be in mind, where the fuck did that come from? Did I leave a podcast on or something?
But that is usually a lot of times music does pop up in my head too, and it'll be a song that you didn't even listen to recently. It's just there.
It's random.
The day greets you with a throwback.
What kind of tunes, Troy, just make you really want to beat it out on the drums? Just what kind of rock, whatever style, doesn't matter. What really just gets your, get your goose going.
Ironically, a lot of the stuff that I like to listen to that, fuels me the most is not the stuff I enjoy playing, or just that. It's weird, like I mentioned earlier, I've been warming up with old Anthrax and Pantera and stuff like that, and so those are the bands that obviously I was already into metal when they came out, and have been loved them ever since. When Vulgar Display of Power came out, I was a super angry 15-year-old or something like that, and you put that album on and try not to break everything in the room while you're moshing with your and so those things, listening to it, I get super pumped. If I listen to that stuff on the way to practice, it's probably going to be a good practice. Ironically, I get to practice, I'm I want to play that song, and then I put it on, I'm like, fuck, this is so slow, so simple. I love this song, but I fucking hate playing it though.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, Casey's talking about the adrenaline rush and shit. And there's been so many times where we, because we would do those tours where we would get to get on our phones the next day and see 20 clips from different angles and stuff that people would post on YouTube. And we were like, well, Jesus, we're fucking flying. And I would not even have any clue that we were going faster than usual. I just thought because of the adrenaline, we just thought, we're we're in the, and I would just notice my arms would be just cramping on the first song. I'd be I guess maybe I didn't stretch properly, or maybe I didn't eat enough bananas, or something like that the night before. But I was my fucking middle of my palms would just start seizing.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, Jesus, man, I need to stretch better. And then we'd hear it again and it'd just be oh yeah, right there. Yeah, it would just, and then we'd hear it and oh shit, we were 15 beats per minute fast because we saw the crowd and we were hurry up, they're all, we're maybe having some issues or with time and we have to get going, set up and we have to go, and we're just all right, ready? Are you ready? Ready? Okay, go. Just go right into it, and we're all hyped up, and then before you know it, we're flying.
So adrenaline and going faster and not realizing it. Do you think that that's adrenaline slows everything down in perception? Not.
Well, yeah,
it slows your perception of time. Yeah,
I just saw bananas and started laughing. Dude. I didn't even read the whole sentence.
But I think it doesn't just slow it; it skews it up, back and forth. It's when we I don't know, on a stream, it's fast and it catches up.
Well, adrenaline, usually rises from fight or flight. So I'm in the fight, you keen on everything that's going on if you're going into battle. So like your perception slows everything down to where you can catch all more details in the situation. It's the same thing with going up on stage. You take that adrenaline with you. It's going to give you those same.
But that's the classic rookie mistake, you know?
Yeah, it is.
It's like, you know, it's like a lot of things. It's like if you beat it out too fast, like
don't fucking, you're gonna fucking wear that shit out so hard.
It's the band that hits it the hardest, dude. You know, like the band that like keeps it like in the pocket, like the band that doesn't like go too fast.
Yeah.
Is that not right? I mean, like the most pro bands like keep it. Yeah. See that you know, like when we would tour with Black Dahlia, or like, you know, I'm sure with Cannibal Corpse, or like, you know, because Troy, you toured with Cannibal, we haven't, but you know, or Suffocation, or bands that we've toured with, like they don't rush the fucking, you know, they play like they're smart about like they think about like how they like do the right tempo, they think about it, and it comes off a lot stronger and more buff and like thick because they're not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Often saying
blast beating too fast. I'm not gonna say it.
I don't know. Yeah, like you said, how those bands maintain, like, I don't know if it's just skill, experience. I don't know. But yeah, I was going to say death metal, playing death metal and shows kind of ruined playing a lot of other styles of music for me in a way, because, you know, like there was a long period of time where I actually stopped practicing and trying to become a better drummer because I was pushing myself so much just to do what we were trying to do in the band. And then it was always playing outside of my abilities, always playing outside of my comfort level, always playing faster than I should have been to play clean. And then you go to a show and the adrenaline kicks in, and, you know, I get like to the middle of the song and I'm like, fuck, I can't breathe. I look over, like, yeah, Mike could look back at me and he'd give me this look. There was a look where it was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? And sometimes I just shake my head and be like, I don't know. It felt right a minute ago.
Do you think it's a gradual incline, or like there's a one riff that all of a sudden just like kicks the adrenaline up for you to where the timing is instantaneous, or is it a gradual thing?
I think I don't think that I have a lot of tempo climb in the middle of riffs, but I know that when it comes to changes and rolls, like I'll rush the transition because I'm nervous about pulling it off or something, because I'm already probably playing too fast. And then so I rush the transition, rush the roll, the fill or whatever, and then I'll hit the next, you know, the next riff, the next part, you know, 5 BPM faster or something like that. And then like 6 riffs in, like you said, you've jumped 10, 15, 20 BPM, and it's like, okay, now it's just too fast. It doesn't even groove. So then it's like, well, how do I slow down? Like, how do I put the brakes on this train? It feels like I don't want to make it obvious. I don't want to, everybody seems to still be with me at this speed. So how do I slow down now?
Slow down without want it to sound intentional, or So timing.
Do you ever run into trials, like, with all the shows that you've done and stuff like that? Because I would run into this a lot where I was so like on autopilot after, I don't know, maybe a week in a tour or something like that I wasn't even really thinking about what I was having to do. But there'd be sometimes I'd be thinking, and I'd be like just because of that, I could allow myself to like kind of like look around and stuff and kind of look at the crowd and stuff. And before I know it, I'd be like, oh shit, I have no idea what's next. I have no idea what part's coming next. And then right before it comes, like, oh, just Jesus Christ. Like I literally just, the timing was gone. I didn't know how many times we were going to do it. I didn't know which bar we were in out of the, you know, how many, let's say we're doing a riff like 4 or 5 times. I didn't know if we were 2 or 3 in, you know, I didn't know if we were going to stop the next one and go to the next one. And just cause like, I would just catch myself just completely wandering, just fucking looking around. I remember there was a couple of venues with screens on us, and just like watching, I'd be like, oh shit, we're on like a TV screen back there like, while we're playing. But like, I think I've told that story before, but it's like, I was watching a TV screen in Vegas, and I was like, oh shit, and they like zoomed in on me, and I was like watching, I was like, oh fuck, I got like, all the bars had me on it, and I was like, fuck, and I was looking, and it was a little delayed. So like, and we had a riff that went, you know, it was probably 8, it was like a slide for 8 frets or something like that, and I looked at the the screen in my hand was like on the 12th fret when I was supposed to be on the third. When I actually was on
You
the 3rd
shoulda-
fret, and
That
my brain was
delay
like, "What the
fuck you
fuck?"
up.
It's all like completely dissonance in my brain. I was like, "Shit!" I had to look
I
down.
know.
Like,
Well, that
stop
means you
that.
paid attention to the TV for too long, dude.
Yeah, I was just like zoning out. Like, fuck yeah, it's crazy. It looks sick. That Zoom looks sick.
You can do
I
that
want
on
a
here
copy
too.
of this,
Just
dude. I wonder if they can give
trying
me
to
a
watch your
copy
own
of this
stream
when
while
we're
you're
done.
playing. Yeah.
No, I know. It was. It's just getting your. Sometimes when you get kind of like in that tour mode, you kind of get like in robot mode a little bit, and you just kind of
Yeah.
wander. I mean, you guys. I mean, for you, it's probably fucking 10 times harder because for us, we're just chilling, like strumming a little thing, and you guys are going like like the whole time and shit. You probably have to be. It kind of forces you maybe to pay more attention, but sometimes on
Yeah.
strings, it'll just be
Ironically,
like, fuck yeah.
one of the many death metal dadisms from Mike Hamilton probably was relaxing and like basically relax, breathe, take some time to look at the crowd and kind of, it's almost like you should be focusing on what you're doing, but you almost have to purposely break focus and like just relax and
Be in the
take in the
space.
energy and
Yeah.
just be present, right?
Yeah.
And that definitely helps a lot. Of course, that's like 3 or 4 songs in after the cramping is gone and the ridiculous BPMs.
You
But
speak of an energy in the room at live shows. That's a real thing, dude.
oh yeah,
And I was reminded of that at Cannibal. There's this energy that happens at these shows that it's really fucking sick to catch that wavelength, dude. And I don't know what it is, is
It's
it
the
a
vibe.
collective, some kind of a collective consciousness thing that's going on where everybody's kind of on the
Something.
same page at that night, at that time, that night, and it's all confined into that one space, and we're all there for the same thing, and it's a weird situation, and being a performer in those environments and catching that energy too is a awesome thing, dude. Definitely don't block off the energy while you're playing. Let yourself get exposed to the energy in the room, because it's gonna make you adjust. If the
Right.
energy feels weird, you adjust to try and adjust the energy.
Right. There's like you said, finding that balance of not like feeding into it or feeding off of it too much to where like you become a runaway train type of thing. I was just watching the chat a minute ago. They're talking about the Las Vegas Death Fest we played in 2012, the Severed, and that was by all accounts my worst offense at Runaway Train tempos. And it was one of those things like hadn't played a show in 5 years or something like that, and
Yeah,
I mean we practiced quite
we're
a bit.
headlining it.
Yeah, and like you
Yeah.
said, there's just nerves and headlining a fest. It's just like something we never did, and the whole setup thing. And you get up there, and I even had like a metronome velcroed to my hi-hat stand, so I could at least try to start the songs with the right tempo. But it was just one of those. There was multiple songs that and get halfway into the third of the way into the song, and I'd be getting some daggers shot at me from.
Yeah. So your metronome was a light flashing, right?
Yeah, and then I'd look down at it and be like, "Oh wow, I'm way ahead of this."
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I was going to ask you. So like, do you get to a certain point where your attention moves away from the metronome for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden you look back at it and you're like, oh, I'm not even close to that now.
Oh yeah. Well, part of the problem too is like the songs, the timing or the tempos change. They're supposed to change. They change a lot throughout the songs. Sometimes it's like 3 BPM increments, but there's a lot of tempo changes. And like I said, I would always rush transition fills or whatever, and then take the next riff faster, and then so it became a thing where there are certain riffs that just wasn't going to line up to even if I was playing the right speed, because that riff was faster or slower than the starting tempo of the song. So I had to figure out what riffs were the ones that I should be on with the metronome, and then try to like ground myself to the right timing when I got there. But like I think it was Mike was saying in chat, the Vegas show. And then Sam mentioned the Winters show. The Winters was another one of those shows where we played Vegas, and then it was like a I don't know, a few weeks or a month or something before we did Winters, the first show kicking off our tour in 2012. And it was one of those stupid things where like I had worked the day before, took way too long to get ready, stayed up all night long packing, got in here in the afternoon, slept for an hour in the parking lot in the back of Mike Williams' Suburban while the show was going on. I was trying to get like an hour of sleep before we had to play, and literally got up, like chugged a monster and set up and played, and was just completely out of it. And
well, dude, Jeff Huell, he's got some footage of that show, and I remember my memories of that show, even though it was maybe faster. I think that Winters was a killer set and a killer gig. We packed that place out. I think that, you know, they got like 120 max. They've got like 160 people in there.
Oh yeah,
just everybody was sardined in there. But there's actually, if we could find it that tonight, that'd be cool to find that footage that Jeff has. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll pull it
up.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that fast, and I think it was tight as hell, dude. They got
yeah, from what I've seen, it looked great. Like, I mean, because I missed that show, so that's how I'd live through it, was watching that footage.
Yeah, well, dude, that was a great one.
You know, pretty lucky on the part of, it was a pretty small place and a tiny stage, right? But it was small capacity, but very packed. So you know, lots of humans always absorb a lot of the harshness of the sound. Mix sounds better.
Yeah.
And you got all that energy. And it was like, you know, it's Pacifica, hometown, long time, core fans, friends, family, and just the, you know, super, super good vibe. And
back to the energy. The energy of that room was great.
Yeah, you start adding all those things up, and that's what, you know, kept it from being potentially not great to being a good show. Is like
some Pound regulars. I remember them showing up and not seeing them for a while, so that was cool.
People coming from, you know, Sac, maybe even Fresno. I don't know. There were some people that came from pretty far away. So
that's one thing about Severed Savior that I noticed very early, way before I was in the band, was that you guys really had like a cult Bay Area following. California was really good to Severed, but Bay Area was like, you guys were like the underground hitters in the Bay Area. That there was certain people that you would see at Severed shows that you wouldn't see at any other show at the Pound. They would come to see Severed Savior and then just disappear until Severed Savior came back. And it was this thing that was like, oh, there's this hype with this band. That's kind of like what got me into Severed in the first place, was that seeing that there's this close-knit group of people that kind of like a Grateful Dead situation. Like if we all could, we would have followed Severed Savior, you know?
Yeah, totally. Back to that. Actually, one thing you did make a point about playing the Las Vegas fest and stuff, and you haven't played in so long. I noticed a lot of these festivals, like you talk about Maryland Death Fest, a lot of these festivals, they'll put a band up there that hasn't played for 20 fucking years, and they'll be like, "Hey, headline it, motherfuckers!" And like they're just like, they're like, "Ugh, all right, that's fucking," you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what to expect when I see some of those names. I'm like, Pungent Stench is playing, like they're fucking headlining a fucking. I'm like, is that even a band? I didn't even
have you seen the cover of their album? I think it's Been Caught Buttering.
I just remember the ones with the two decapitated.
Yeah, that's what it is.
My brother used to have when I was a kid, and I was like,
that's an actual art piece, dude, and it is a real body. It's a guy literally sliced a dude's head down the middle and then turned those sides on each other to make them kiss. It is a wild cover, dude. Wow. It's one of the way more disturbing than any Cannibal Corpse cover I've ever seen.
Well, it's like that Brujeria one where they had the decapitated dude, like his head being like held up, like the cartel guy or something. Like it's just a straight up decapitation, like on the front. It's just all, "Hey, motherfucker, this is our album. Listen to it." And it's like, Jesus.
Yeah. I wonder what this is going to sound like.
Yeah. I know it's probably going to be a little. Watch, it's just smooth jazz. That'd be a move.
Troy, I'm just talking about shows now. I'm thinking about shows. You want to go to Suffo Atheist? That's the thing coming up soon, right? And I think it's June. At
so sick. I'm so down.
Regency, is it?
Probably.
I've been DNA. like when I see something, I'm just like, oh, I'll put it in my phone because I will not remember what date this is, and then set a reminder to go off like 2 weeks before or a week before or something. So then, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta. Yeah.
Well, nowadays you got to be careful because just because of the pandemic being over, like all the shows are fucking sold out. Like everything's sold out. Like it's like the fucking Entheos show. I didn't even I saw Entheos and Archspire this weekend in Santa Cruz. It's probably the biggest death metal show in Santa Cruz's history for sure. It was like they went from the side room. Yeah, they went to the side room. They sold it out immediately, and then Joel Haston, which we've had on the podcast, was like, hey, let's move it to the main room. So they moved it to the main Catalyst room, which is 1,000 capacity, I think.
He booked
and it sold. Nice. Supposedly, I mean, Cheney said it sold out, and so did Archspire. I heard some other people said they didn't. It didn't sell out, but to their standards after the pandemic, it did. It was like 600 or 700 people, but it was still like during fucking 600 or 700 for like Archspire and like show. Entheos and
Santa
Fury.
Cruz.
Yeah, it's not like Cannibal Corpse big, and stuff. Yeah. Right. It's like a cannibal sized crowd in a for like a technical trippy death metal package. You know, it was like I was sitting there just going like, holy fuck, and everyone came out and it was something to behold in Santa Cruz, and actually really, I was stoked. I was like, because in my head when I see shows like that and around here, I'm just like, fuck yeah, that means Joel's gonna bring more shit here like that, and I don't have to fucking go to Berkeley or I don't have to go to like
shout out Pinup Productions, Joel Cupcake. He was also a previous guest of ours, super sick dude, and he knows what's up.
Yeah, he's doing it big, especially because now shows are doing really well, so he could just bring whatever he wants, and he's way into a lot of the death metal stuff as well, and now he gets to bring that shit out, so it's fucking awesome. I'm stoked.
Yeah, dude, I really think it is like the pandemic and how, you know, live music has been gone for so long. Everybody and more are coming out because it is available again, you know?
Yep, definitely. Oh, definitely.
You got to bring it out.
I was going to make the drive to Santa Cruz, but then I had heard it was sold out for the Entheos Archspire, and I was like, it was one of those things. I was like, well, you know, there's a chance, like if I hit some people up, maybe somebody's got an extra ticket or somebody. I was going to hit up Joel. I was like,
oh, we could have got you in easy.
I probably, you know, could have found a way in, but then I was like, I don't want to, you know, like try to get out of work, drive all the way to Santa Cruz, and then hanging out outside.
Now you know how we feel when everything goes to fucking San Francisco all the time, and it's like San Francisco on a Thursday or on a Wednesday, and I'm like, fuck, that means I either have to get Thursday off, you know, or just make it happen somehow, or just have this fucking next day at work that's like
this brutal day.
Feels like shit, you know. So yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, it was ironic. I thought about it later. I was like, oh man, that was so dumb. I should have just went, because I'm sure, like I said, if I hit you up or hit some, you know, sure I could have found somebody that extra ticket or could have got me in or something. And I like, that's like the 4th time that I have missed. I would say Archspire. To me, it's Arch. I don't know why you would say Arch.
I mean, it's spelled,
Arch. It's Arch Spire. Arches and spires, or
no, it is Archspire, isn't it? It's not Archspire.
I don't know. A lot of people say Archspire for some reason.
I think it's Arch. I think it's Arch. If it was Archspire, that'd be funny.
You know, arches and spires are all part of the same.
What do you think? What do you think, Anthony? What do you think it is? I don't even know. I think it's Arc. Anthony's pretty legendary at mispronouncing. Let's let him come back.
Yeah.
He's pretty legendary at mispronouncing names, but
Joel.
Yeah.
No, I mean just like band names and shit. You're pretty good with human names.
Cafarnum, dude.
Cafarnum could be right. I don't even know. I think it's Cafarnam, but I don't even know. I mean,
you were so hardcore, like, no, dude, this is how you say it, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's the way I got to say it now.
It's like you, because you said to the Geiger stuff. We're like, dude, it's Geiger, and you're like, dude, it's Giger.
It is Giger.
I know. See, there you go. So you're doing it too.
I listened to the man say it himself. It's Giger.
I know.
That's the key, right? You always got to find a way to get those people to pronounce
and it's
their
all
own
over my
names,
arm, dude. Yeah. And it's all over my arm.
Yeah.
And it's also it's necrophagist. It's not necrophagist.
I know. That's another one that I was like, whoa.
I mean, but also too, that could be the German accent coming out. It still could be necrophagist to us. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
always the
anyways.
thing. Is people pronounce things, but then you're like, well, I don't know. I passed English, and that's only a single consonant. So
Yeah, exactly. You're all. This is a Greek derived prefix. So
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's a translation, lost in translation, or something like that. Yeah.
my
Greek
God.
derived prefix.
I was looking at the chat. Caught the Archspire show in Seattle. Yeah, I've missed Archspire like I want to say 4 times, and it's ironic that every time they come by, I come to the U.S. where a show near where I am, like I've either it was sold out or I thought it was sold out. I didn't go. I couldn't get off work. I went to the show and their van broke down and they didn't make it. And then this one again, where I heard it was sold out, so I didn't go.
Yeah, they're
That's
extremely
Slayer
tight.
for me, dude. Slayer is a band that I have never seen, and every time I had or that they'd be coming through the Bay, I'd be out of town that weekend, and it was like something that I had already booked, couldn't cancel,
Right.
so I had to miss Slayer every time that I went on
Yeah.
vacation, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm literally in another state. Fuck. Then they were here 2 days ago, but I just got here today, and now they're
Ranch
there.
water, dude. It tastes just like Hidden Valley.
Yeah, it's gross. Ranch water.
Ranch water. I don't know.
It's, like, it's all about Blue Trees water.
It's
Go fuck
agave
yourself.
and lime, motherfuckers. Come on.
I was gonna say I
Yeah.
grew up kind of in the country, and to me, ranch water sounds like a dirty stream that a cow just pissed in. But hopefully it
Like, oh,
tastes
he
better
got-
than that.
he got the mumps from ranch water.
Either that or there's dairy in it, and it sucks either way.
Oh, right.
Isn't
It's
there
one or the
beers
other,
that do have lactose and shit in them? I think Carrie brought a beer on here one time that had
Oh yeah, no, that's we went
they're
and got
like
these
called milkshakes or something like that, and
I
it's
don't know if it-
actually lactose.
I don't know if it actually had lactose, but it tasted creamy.
Well, the real milkshakes actually have the lactose in there, and I'm like, why add that to a beer?
lactose sugar. That's what he's saying.
Oh, okay. Either way,
So I
dude.
don't know what that means.
It's the sugar taken out of milk, maybe.
It's
the
they
complex
milk the
sugar molecule. Yeah.
Lactose sugar is popular in beer. Okay, that's crazy.
I can't believe you haven't seen Slayer. By the way, you just said that a little nonchalantly. I haven't seen Iron Maiden or Deicide. So
It's hurt
those are
my
two-
feelings every time. That's why I said it that way, dude. Because I've just got to be over it. I just got to
what
be
about-
like,
Like Troy, what about you? Is there like a huge band that you've never seen? Because it seems like there's always one for someone that like a huge band that everyone's seen and you just don't want to tell anyone.
Like death metal or
Yeah,
heavy
just like
heavy
or
metal?
anything. Just it could be like for me, it's Iron Maiden and Deicide. So I mean, whatever works.
I had a conversation with somebody recently, and they brought up Rush, and I couldn't remember a time that I'd seen them.
Okay.
And I like in my mind, I feel like I probably did because back in like the early '90s, right after I moved to the Bay Area, I went to a lot of concerts for a lot of bands I wasn't necessarily into, just because that's what my dad and his friends were
Okay.
into, and they're like, knew I was into music, so like, come on, you got to check these guys out. So I saw a lot of the AC/DC and Van Halen and Leonard Skinner and all kinds of shows I would have never gone to on my own. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Rush.
Okay.
Great
yeah,
show.
I've seen them 3 times, but that was. I mean, if you were brought as a kid, I was like, how could you forget seeing Rush? But then if your dad's dragging you to stuff and you're just like, what is this? That's another. He doesn't want to pay for a babysitter, so here I am.
Right.
Yeah, no, totally. That's
What-
AC/DC had never seen.
Joel,
Never
real
seen.
quick, on your Rush shows, what did they have going on stage behind them? Because they usually do like laundry
Yeah.
or rotisserie chickens.
That's both what I actually no. So I saw I don't know if it was laundry, but I know it was rotisserie chickens, and it was like I think the rotisserie chicken one was like the time machine tour. So it was like there was like time machines kind of mixed in, and then the guy would come and baste.
Yeah, the guy would
chicken,
come,
like, in the
they
middle.
literally come out and baste the
Just
chickens.
mid
dude.
set, just like
That's
right
the
in the middle of
coolest thing
solo
I
or
think I've
something.
ever
Well,
heard, dude.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that gets all served to the crew after the show. Like
Oh,
every-
okay.
Dope.
yeah,
That's smart.
I think that goes to everybody who was involved with making that show happen.
Imagine being a stagehand for your fucking guitar player's got a rotisserie turkey or chicken fucking like he's all dude. I got the fucking R45 fucking rotisserie turkey
No.
turkey fucking
Imagine you're on the tour and you're working backstage and they're like, yeah, we're not doing the chickens anymore, but we'll do your laundry.
yeah.
You got to think about
Also
it like
doing the
from
band's laundry on stage.
tour production standpoint, right? You're like, we need something interesting to have on the tour that doesn't cost a lot of money. What can we do? And they're like, well, we got to feed the crew and we got to do laundry. Like, what if we just, you know what I mean? Like, we'll just cook on stage.
It's like, can we run gas and then water to the stage?
Well, we already got, yeah.
Oh my god.
So Troy,
That's cool.
personal question:
Uh-oh.
what came first, the chicken or the drumstick?
That's too
I
personal,
had
dude.
a
I wouldn't
feeling.
go there.
I had a feeling. I don't even know.
The chicken had to come to give the
hey,
drumstick.
hey. Or like,
Hey, I
did-
want to see your
chicken-
face when you ask that.
yeah. So like, did they use drumsticks like in drums before they used them in chickens, or did the name drumstick come from chickens for the drumstick, or did like the drumstick for the drummer?
Chickens were
Thought of the
definitely
chicken.
around before.
What's the
drums.
reference of drumstick?
Right. Was it? Did they use chicken bones to hit the drums, and that's where they got the name?
Mm,
Or was it
mm,
probably a
mm.
different animal that was larger, and then
Larger
they hit the drums
animal,
with
yep.
those bones, and then that became called a drumstick, and then because it was that part of the animal's leg,
Yeah.
and that is the same part of the chicken's leg, it just got adapted, and that's where it stuck.
It's a pretty delicious question. I don't know.
It
Yeah.
is.
Dude, you're making me hungry.
definitely- Chickens
ran
are
out of time
older
to eat
than
before
drums,
this, man.
so
Stop.
they eventually looked at it and said, "This kind of looks like the things that people beat the drums with. Let's just call it a drumstick." I mean, drumstick ice cream too. It looks
It says the word
they look
drumstick.
nothing like a drumstick.
Oh,
says
Joel's got it.
according to the Oxford English Dictionary, was first used in the mid 18th century to mean the lower joint of a leg of a dressed fowl.
Yeah.
Fowl,
So the
F-O-W-L.
bird did come before the drumstick of the.
Yeah.
It says the Oxford's earliest citation is from Samuel Foote's play "The Mayor of Garrett" in 1764. She always helped me herself to tough drumstick turkeys.
do
No,
all
no,
those
Jesus,
do
no,
all
I'm
those
drink-
do all those
I fucked
turkeys
that up.
running through the weeds or what?
I
Lee, what do
definitely
you
said
think?
those
What do you
weeds,
think
though,
about
man.
it? Lee's a drummer. You're a historian, Lee. What do you think?
Those weeds.
That's all we got is weeds. Dude, this is the second episode with Troy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
This is
I
great.
really like how Joel is channeling the professor and the distinction between FOWL as opposed to
trying to.
FOUL in foul.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
opposed to the.
He's
yeah,
like,
I like that.
actually, it says.
Is that how he
That's my
sounds?
impression. No, hey, that's bad. That's not my impression. I'm just saying, like
was
you know, like
aggressive.
the.
I'm just saying that was my Casey impression. I'm just saying.
The best part was last.
It's the brainiac. Come on.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get it.
that's all.
Come on.
He is. That's why he's the professor, dude.
Yeah.
We miss
Smarter
him,
than all
dude.
of us.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Speaking of, all right. So, where do we go from? I mean, we can go so many different places from here. Troy,
Choose your own adventure.
what is the most non-metal drummer that influences you, or throughout your career, non-metal drummer? Who's the guy that maybe was there before metal or even after metal? You came across him, he's non-metal. Just either way, what kind of non-metal musicians do you respect just as highly?
When non-metal, I really oh, you said non-metal.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be a rock drummer still too, but I'm just saying, like, the extreme stuff that we listen to outside of the realm that the pond that we dip our toes in. Get out of that one.
You know, I like hate to admit, I suppose, that for a long time I was, kind of one-dimensional. That I was such an angry youth and got so into metal, thrash, death metal, and I was just looking for
Release
the fastest, heaviest blast beats and double bass, and I was aspiring to do that. So it was like the other stuff kind of came later. Obviously, I discovering Cynic early on in '93 at the Cannibal show at Berkeley Square or whatever was eye-opening.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
Mike showed me a lot of stuff from like early 70s Yes, and especially like the Chick Corea and other stuff, but I kind of wasn't at a level to really understand a lot of that stuff to appreciate it until later on.
I got a
Ironically,
Cali download on the last episode, and it blew my mind, dude.
I'll never not say servile for this question.
I fucked that up.
Well, ironically, after Brutality's Law, and we started working on Servile, which was kind of going, in the beginning of the band, it was Puddle of Gore, Fecophiliac, and stuff, and then the direction started to go where it's Fuck the Humans and Dead Speak and Forced to Bleed, and then while Jared was in the band, we kind of went back to Fast and Brutal for Brutality. After that, looking for more to add more dimension or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know how conscious of a decision it was, or conversations me and Mike or what, but it became apparent that I needed to stop listening to death metal for inspiration. Otherwise, I was just going to continue to do stuff that sounded like other bands. Like
Yep.
at the time, all I wanted to do was do gravity blasts like Origin and super fast double kick and just ride songs that I already couldn't breathe to when I was playing with the right speed.
Mhm.
And it took like kind of stopping to listen to death metal for a while and looking at other genres to get inspired. And probably one of the biggest ones, even though it might not be apparent at all, and I can't play any of his stuff, but Carter Buford from Dave Matthews Band,
Mm.
I
Okay.
think is just fucking amazing. Like if you
Yeah.
listen to, especially the earlier Dave Matthews stuff, you listen to his playing, his phrasing, his ambidexterity, and yeah, I was that dude was a huge influence on trying to create more groove in 250 BPM death metal.
Yeah,
Just
Dave
like
Matthews
so
is
much
one of
room
those.
for groove. But
He's one of those guys that I've always kind of like never wanted to give a chance to, because of like through growing up and watching MTV and seeing the songs, I was like, yeah, it's good, but it's like wasn't something that I wanted to dive into at all. I was looking to my
We're talking
whatever.
about the sickest music, dude.
Well, the thing is, though, Trevor's really into it, and like we
No,
listened to
they're
some of it.
insane.
No, we listened to it on the way home from Sacramento 2 weeks ago, and it just came on as mix, and I didn't request to change it, and we just jammed it, and I was like, damn, this fucking shit's actually kind of fucking gnarly, dude. Like,
Yeah, dude.
I
And
was
what's cool
completely blown away by it.
is watching some of. I mean, I'm not the biggest Dave Matthews Band fan at all. I maybe have one album, and it's the album I bought because of this song. But there was a live version of the song "Satellite" that I really, really enjoyed, and there was a lot going on. It was a pretty complex version of the song, and then I bought the actual album that it was on, and it wasn't nearly as gnarly as they were doing it live.
Yep.
So I was kind of like, oh well, it's the live version that I like much better,
That's the one
dude.
thing
And
about
but that
band.
should, like, guys, artists that can reimagine their songs live, in a new way. I think that's really cool too. I mean, we're death metal. We kind of play it by the books. We play it pretty much the same way. I mean, there's some flares and stuff in Fecophiliac that were there before we re-recorded. You re-recorded it. We've talked about it before. All the stuff that was there, and but really, like, death metal is kind of just by the books when it's live, and seeing guys reimagine their songs and like Cynic too. Cynic was a great example of reimagining their own songs when they did that traced
I still got Dave Matthews shit to
EP,
say though. I was waiting
retrace.
to say my
Sorry.
Dave Matthews comment.
Go for it.
So that's cool. I mean, I love Cynic. I mean, they're insane, and I love
Yeah.
Dave Matthews. I wanted to just say real fast. So my friend, shout out to Jesse Charno, a sick ass drummer from the area down here, and he's like my elder, like of a few years. Like, he's like high school years, 3 or 4 years older than me, something like that. But he was like a badass drummer when I was growing up. First giant drum kit I ever saw was his drum kit at his house, like fucking whatever giant, I don't know how many 10-piece kit. But his, like, he was super, like, influenced by Carter Buford and stuff. And so, like, I remember watching those videos way back, like in like the late 90s, like all that Dave Matthews stuff. And I've always loved Carter Buford. Like, he's one of my, I mean, He's on my
all
top
the
list
drum
of
magazines,
drummers.
right? All the
Dude,
drum
he's
magazines. I see him in like
insane. Yeah.
every drum magazine.
And that snare head, that like, you know, Evans HD dry, that one with like the dots through it and stuff, is the head that like I remember back in the day, that was like the one that he used and stuff. And so we all used that snare head because of him, you know. And I've used that snare head on a lot of, I don't use it anymore, different sounds and stuff. But yeah, like on all the albums I've ever recorded, I've always used that head.
No
So
shit.
I just want to say, like I was just kidding. Like they're sick, but I mean, it's not like my style of music. But dude, talking like the most insane musicians, though. Like obviously,
Yeah,
I know these guys are really, and all the, you know, the violin players and all the, dude, that shit's insane. Like they're fucking badass. I'm just saying, not
no,
my,
I
like,
know.
thing I would
I knew your
style. I was just kidding, but like, because dude, that's the joke that they get. But the thing is, they're like the sick. They're like Rush in the sense, you know, people tease Rush, but they're like the sickest musicians or whatever. Like,
yeah.
So, anyways, shout.
I was gonna say,
Carter Preferred, respect as fuck, dude. That guy is insane. Like,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
all
Oh,
about
yeah.
that dude. He's fucking killer. So
it's just, super good. Ironically, I've got that head on my snare drum right now. It's not one that I actually like the live sound of much, but it just seems to work really well for recording. And I haven't changed my head since the last time I recorded. So
I'm just using the Power Center reverse dot now, like the Danny Carey or whatever. That one is like the one. It's the same. It's all Evans heads. It's just, I don't know. I feel like you get a different sound. Like drier snares have a cool sound, but also like snares that aren't as dry, you get more of like a milky, like a soupy or like more you know, like buzz kind of rolls and stuff, and like you get more of that in there. But
less
like
controlled, more chaos, more body, more
But like
Evans like the main deal when it comes to snare heads.
Oh no, it's like Evans and Remo. I mean, there's like an Aquarian and like Attack Head. And there's so many different companies. They're all really great. They're all great, really. But Evans are just like a company. So it's like, you know, it's like saying Pearl Drums or Tama Drums or whatever.
Yeah,
they're all great companies. So yeah.
You know what's funny is they had a just a kind of a segue off a different instrument, but guitar. There's this guitar guy that's like an engineer, and he made a video. It was really cool because he was going off of people saying, well, this wood of guitar has this tonal property, and this wood will do this thing. And I apologize if I've said this story before because I've recently told it. I don't know if it was here or to a friend, but and he made this really cool video where he basically was saying, no, it's the electronics, dude. Like it's the electronics. It's not the wood at all. I mean, resonance will help with. There'll be resonance that are different. Like you'll notice some differences in sustain and stuff like that. But he literally he measured everything out to the point where he got every single kind of style of wood and put the same electronics in. And he just he doesn't tell you, he's all, this is A, this is B, what's different, like what's different, like, and then he'd show you what they were. And then he, at the very end, like the finale of his video was, he just got 2 work tables that were just with no wood and just strings bolted to one side and the other side, the exact, I mean, with the bridge and stuff and the net and the nut on the other side. So it's exactly the same length of his guitar, tune it the same, with just the electronics perfectly in the same position that they were on all the other guitars, you know, just to make it all equal so you can hear, you know, if heights, the magnet to string is the same and everything's the same. And he was just playing it with no wood, just air. It was just like being suspended, these pickups being suspended from the ground. And it was like, you could barely tell difference.
So it sounds like the electronics and the technology in guitar making has gotten to a point where something that was important before isn't important now, because that is something that was important back in the day, because maybe the technology, the like electronics of the situation didn't get to the point where it doesn't matter where it's sitting. It could be sitting.
There is that, and then there's like, I'm sure like if Mike's still here, he'd probably chime in, but if there is that, and there's also probably the wood, like the neck, you know, like how you play on the neck could, like if it's a different kind of a more gloss neck with like a low kind of like action, then it'd be twangy, kind of like a Telecaster or more of a Strat or something like that. There is like, and obviously his point was just the electronics for an electric guitar are making like 89 to 95% of the tone. It's not like like everyone's like, I was just wondering. Like you said, this reason that came up was because you said like these different heads and these different companies and stuff. Like, is it a huge difference between like an Aquarian head to a Tama head, or is it just like something that maybe feels better when you're hitting it, or is it like what like is it more of a, I don't know, just wanting to know sounds,
I think that
like
all factors, because we're also comparing electronic technology to like
And percussion is probably a lot different too.
percussion is not electronic.
How about Troy?
Yeah.
What do you think?
All right, Troy, you go.
Go.
What do you think about drum heads, Troy?
That's how we
got-
how we do the podcast now. We just tell people when to talk now.
I got.
We just zoom in.
Go. You speak, monkey, speak. I was reading the chat for a second. Are we still talking about guitar, the different woods or electronics? I was reading
drum
some
heads.
comments about. So back to the drum heads.
We're back to drum heads.
Well,
What's
like
the
how similar in that
difference
story, I said like if it's is it that big of a difference from like let's say your you said the guy from Dave Matthews Band or the new or whatever other drumhead you like going from Aquarian to Tom or to I fucking forget all the brands. Is it a huge difference between drumhead to drumhead?
Just like personally, I think there's way too many variables. There's the type of wood. There's the number of plies. There's the dimensions of the tom, whether it's shallow or deep, or the snare. There's all those things, and then you add the fucking heads on top of it. Is it a single ply? Is it a double ply? Does it have the built-in sound dampening? Does it have the holes like the one Casey mentioned that I have on my snare drum? I would equate it to like not as severe maybe as changing pickups in your guitar or changing preamps or effects modules, but definitely like going from old strings to new strings or from one brand to another, a different gauge of strings. Single ply head versus a dual ply head. There's definitely going to be different amounts of attack and words that just evaporated out of my brain. Sustain, shit like that, warmth. So yeah, like you want to get that super like metal drum sound, which a lot, some of the best like metal, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, drums on Death Human or something. A lot of times those are like birch shells, and then they use a double ply head and it's tuned pretty low, so it's pretty loose. So you get a lot of like stick slap sound, and there's not a lot of tone, there's not a lot of sustain, plus the way that they mix it, you can't really tell which drum that they're hitting. They just all sound fat and sick.
It's all general tom.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see other guys like playing other kits where like they're all ping pongy and they sound like a beach ball bouncing off the wall, and lots of sustain but very little punch. And yeah, a lot of that is just the head, and then how they're tuning it, how tight, how loose. And so for me, it sucks. There's like so much variation, and I'm always a struggle of trying to find like I'm trying to get a birch drum sound out of a maple kit, but I love maple because it's warmer and it's got more resonance, but I want it to sound like the Death album, but it's just never going to because it's different wood. Shit like that. Yeah,
it always seems like people like buying gear and shit like that. It's just a never-ending struggle.
It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's like I want to buy this. It's going to solve all my problems. This is the thing that I'm going to get that's finally going to do it. And then you're like, and then the first time you're like, yeah, it's sick, dude. And then like after 2 weeks, you're like, I kind of want it different though. I don't want it to be like, like it's just like it's like the same thing.
That's
as
the vortex you guys fall into.
Well,
dude.
it's the same. The best description of it is like if you, let's say you eat a meal and you're like, this meal is fucking bomb, dude. I want to eat this every fucking day. Yeah. And then like you eat it like for the 14th day, you're like, this meal fucking needs work. I need to change up this meal. I want to try a sandwich.
I don't like the creaminess of the sauce, dude.
It's like I think your ears kind of work the same way as your brain. I mean, your tongue sometimes. Just like, all right, you get used to it. You're like, all right, fuck, what's next? What can be different? What can be changed?
That's human nature, though, dude. Like, nature wants to get to a plateau, and we're constantly like, nah, dude, we got to keep pushing up.
Yeah, exactly. Keep pushing,
push up
keep
because
it out.
And we get bored.
Different type of wood dictates how much you beat it out. Exactly.
how you blast beat it out. Excuse me.
How you blast beat it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Bomb blast beat it out.
Oh man.
So Troy, the question I did have is you mentioned it a little bit in the last podcast, but when I was putting the title on this new video, the other band that I listed on here, the Genocide Architect, what's going on with that? Is that the thing that you're doing still, or is that something that you kind of were working on and aren't working on anymore?
It's funny. I'm stoked to talk about that, but yet it's something I hasn't come up a lot. I have just realized today. I'm like, I still haven't played any of those songs on the stream. That so I had moved to Vegas, was there for quite a while, and they're a band from Vegas, and they were kind of inactive for a couple of years, and I met the guys at one of the Las Vegas Death Fests, and started hanging out and stuff, and then it just kind of happened. I was getting interested in doing something, and they were kind of getting interested in playing again, and so we came together, and they had pretty decent versions of all the songs, and had already recorded them, a couple demos, and so I didn't contribute a lot to it as far as the shaping of the songs, but it was kind of it's more of an old school death metal kind of approach, and it's just fun, and there's groove, and so anyway, it's a lot of fun. We recorded 5 songs, I want to say, in 2017, mixed, mastered, and then played a couple shows. We even had some CDs, physical CDs made, but then we kind of like got stalled. And then 2018, my life got turned upside down when I took a work opportunity to bring me back to the Bay Area, where I was commuting and going back and forth for a while, and it kind of fell off. But we were just recently talking again about, can we make the long distance thing work? And everybody, is in such different places now after the pandemic and everything. Getting everybody together in one room is difficult, and can we make it work long distance? But we have been, working a little behind the scenes, and finally got the EP up on all, Spotify and all the streaming sites, which is cool. And I'd like to do something with it. There's fun stuff to play. And, now that shows are back on, but it's one of those things. It's like when objects in motion tend to want to stay in motion, and objects that aren't, you got to get them rolling again. And sometimes that's harder than it sounds. So we'll see what the future holds, but it'd be cool to do more with those guys, play with, a bunch of super cool dudes, and pretty chill, relaxed writing environment. It's not super technical. It's not super fast. There's not, we're not trying to prove anything or, do anything, but just write fun music that you enjoy playing or that you enjoy listening to. And so, yeah, it's not the fastest, coolest, most technical stuff in the world, but I enjoy it. It's fun.
Let's take the coolest word out of there. You could just say fastest and technical. It may be the coolest.
Oh, well, that's right. That's depending on your opinion, I guess. That's your up to the individual.
That's the subjective.
It's the subjective part,
component.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
There's definitely people who think that it's the coolest. There's got to be a few out there, right?
Oh yeah, there's a few. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, it's like when we talk in death metal terms, I'm like, there's like a handful of people that would call Odious Mortem their favorite band. There's just I don't know how many are out there in the world, but
Those poor souls.
Right.
Why?
But there's
dude?
some. Yeah, there's some. And
Well, they need to listen to more bands because
Yeah.
we're not the best.
well,
We need to
yeah.
make more music. I don't know. I just don't accept. Thank you though, but no way. It's got to be like I feel like Severed. I feel like when you make like 3 albums, I guess we did too, but whatever. But Severed's better. I don't know. I just feel like Severed, like I don't know. I feel like with you guys, like I think it's really cool, Troy, how you've like been in this legacy of the band for so long, and it's like it's sick, like how much material that band has made, over the time, like, and you guys were like OGs, like back, like, it's like we were just like little kids, dude, and it's like Severed was like so sick, like I don't know, like I said before, but I don't know.
Force to Bleed was 99, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. You guys were like,
No.
Like you successfully made me feel really fucking old. Thank you. No,
was it 99?
No, maybe I'm tripping.
Force to Bleed came out in November of 2001. Yeah.
Okay.
Still insane,
okay. So 99 was when
I graduated high school that year. You know,
Yeah.
99. Mike joined in late 98. I joined in
Mhm,
99. Dusty, and then we did the demo in early 2000. And then we did the additional songs for Forced to Bleed in
I was a junior in high school when Forcibly came out, and
July
that
or August of
literally
01.
got
Yeah.
on my radar right after it dropped. Because I remember my first show was going to the Pound, and it was Deicide. There's me mispronouncing a fucking band name. Deicide and Morbid Angel. They did a 2-night residency at the Pound, dude. And each opening band, each night was different. Yeah, dude, Marijuana is great. Each
Actually, M.
night
Gilbert,
was
his
a
eyes
different openers.
aren't that, he's not there yet.
Hey, yeah,
Give him another hour. When you can't tell if they're open or not, that's
There we
when.
go. He's getting there.
You guys
I
want me to
watched
close them up
this
more? I'm
podcast.
gonna
I
do
know.
it. All
I
right.
watched this. I know.
But yeah, so that was. I don't even know where I was going with that now, but Deicide, Morbid Angel at the Pound.
That was good shit.
Yeah, it was coming across Severed. That's what it was.
Right.
No,
how you
that was
discovered.
before that. That Deicide and Morbid Angel was before that because I was only 16 when I went to that show, I didn't meet Dusty until later.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was meeting Dusty at some other show or something.
Yeah, I was at the Pound.
Had seen people wearing Severed shirts or something, and then
No, it was Dusty. It was in the parking lot with me and Dan and George. It was George and Dusty.
George. Yeah.
George and Dusty, they showed up together early. Dan and Anthony show up early. We're the only two cars in the parking lot, and we're like tailgating basically
Right.
before the show.
Pre-showing it out of the back of the 69 Camaro.
I think we had like some beers and they had vodka and orange juice, and we're like, let's be bros right now before
Right.
the show. You
We
know,
must share these libations.
yeah, it was the Camaro with the Slayer sticker on the back window. Yep,
Cherry
the
red.
red Camaro, dude.
Yep. He still got that car.
He loved it all. I wouldn't expect him to get rid of it with how much he loved that car.
It's worth like 20 times now what it was then, and it was a good car.
Yeah, he's kept it cherry too, because I mean,
67. I'm sorry, Jedi.
Yeah, and he would take that shit to shows, and he would be the dude in the parking lot that had the sickest car.
You'd hear him coming down the street.
Yep. Totally, dude. George, shout out George Vlahakos.
Vlahakos?
He works. He's that's his last name, Vlahakos. He's a Greek dude.
Okay.
He's a Mercedes.
Nice.
I didn't know if a GIF would work on here, but it worked.
That's so sick, dude. GIFs work.
That was interesting.
Oh yeah.
It's because of my eyes, isn't it?
If you're interested, just watch the video version on YouTube. The only place it will exist.
If you're listening on audio, you will not get that section of the
Disappears
podcast.
It just disappears on Twitch. It's gone.
There may or may not have been times during different episodes where people could hear Anthony's eyes
Synesthesia, dude.
being closed.
They can hear it's like.
Yeah, they hear him peeling back open when I have to talk. It's just
Right. We see the drunk alert on the screen,
God
but
damn it!
I'm not
That's
drunk.
the
I'm
funniest
definitely
thing
high.
ever.
no, yeah, not drunk. But I'm saying so there were some I don't know.
So
I want to say they were early episodes, but there was a couple that were fairly recent where
Me?
yeah,
It's usually me, dude.
the drunk alerts.
It's definitely
hilarious.
usually me. But I let loose with you guys every week, dude.
No, I love it.
That's what I look forward to, dude.
Well-
It's just this is where I could just be a fucking caveman, dude.
That's part of the cool part is it's the level of it's the vibe, right? It's the energy, it's the level of
Yeah, it's
familiarity,
nostalgia too.
camaraderie,
It's all like
relaxation.
seeing. you guys-
we're all business here. Fuck that.
Right. Well,
No,
that's the thing.
but
I don't think it wouldn't be as cool if it was all like everybody was uptight and be like going down a fucking checklist of questions and like
Yeah,
So,
dude.
You know, if there
Yeah,
were,
I know. I watch those interviews on other bands
Yeah.
and stuff, and it just makes me cringe. Just like,
yeah.
so what was your first influence when you started playing the guitar? What was
Yeah.
the
I've never had notes. The only
Yeah.
time I had notes were
Or like,
names in the beginning when for people that I didn't know. I'd write down their name, but then I started just getting it and just being able to. What's your name, dude? Okay, and 45 seconds later, I'm saying it.
what it's
dude.
turned into is like I've watched some of the old episodes, and we were like, if you just go watch like I don't know one of the first like 15 episodes, we're like yeah, totally, dude. Yes, yeah, we're like super, we're like on screen too, and it's new for us, and we're all getting used to it as well. And after a while, it's like, whoa, it's a Thursday. I'm gonna go talk to some rad musician, and
Go
I'm
hang
just
out
gonna
with my
have a
bros.
conversation. Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend like we're in front of a venue or in the backstage, and we're hanging out and not worrying about like this whole looking at our fucking dumb faces thing.
Yeah. No, it's become something way more times than I have highly looked forward to it. I always look forward to it, but it's just like, there's most of the time it's always just like, oh, dude, Thursday's here, dude.
Yeah.
I'm at work just trying to get it done so I can get home, spend some time with the fam, kick them upstairs and get on here, which actually, full disclosure, I got this house to myself right now, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
dude. I'm by myself.
Damn,
You
dude.
beat it out as much as you want.
As many
awesome.
times all over the place, dude.
All the bananas.
I'm beating out taquitos. I'm beating out mountains.
That gets me. I can't believe this works, dude. I'll stop using it, but it's too good.
What's the music?
Oh,
That's
I don't know.
behind
Casey's
there?
blasting this fucking shit out of it. It's like super loud. There's a volume control on it.
I apologize to the only listeners on iTunes or Stitcher or whatever the fuck you're listening to this on.
You can
This
hear
is
this probably on audio. Though.
that
You can
one
hear that on audio.
sucks. That song.
But then
sucks.
taquitos though.
Which
Oh,
one
they
were
have-
you going for?
I just
What
picked
is
one.
that?
It was like the lo-fi one. That one sucks. I gotta pick a better
But it's
song.
just a random song.
Yeah, they have like a
I
they have a
gotta
list of
memorize which ones are the good ones, and I haven't.
they have like
done it yet. I
9 different
apologize.
like
That was what you
like,
call a fail. That was a fail.
it's like 9 different copyright free songs. You just play like chill ones. We're gonna stupid. Anyways,
Hey Troy,
Right,
can you
on
play some
Dad Burns
drums?
Caveman.
yeah.
What?
Do you want?
Gonna play some drums for us for a second, Troy? What would happen?
Play some drums.
What would happen if you
He's
just
like,
played a
"Fuck it."
beat? Would it because you're in front of a drum set? I mean, it's sick.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like,
I mean,
hit
I
a
don't.
cymbal.
I mean,
I
know
did
it's
not
like a
even
crazy
think once
request,
so
but
far.
Good.
You are in front of a kid. I mean, what would happen if you?
Dude, there's not even any pressure, dude.
Oh,
I'm sitting way back off the.
All right, we're taking requests in the chat right now.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Mainly ACDC. Oh, we got play. We got play
First thing,
question.
play question. Yeah.
big question. Yeah.
I'm gonna play the old version. I'm gonna play the clean version.
Play Rare Bird.
Oh man. was
That's a
listening to that
deep
last
cut
night.
for all you motherfuckers.
Yeah. I was just listening to that last night. I want to relearn that stuff. It's super.
I'm still
Super
your number
groovy,
one
super
fan,
fun.
dude. I'm still the number one fan of that band. I want to meet the other people that came across that and still, hold a candle to it today, because I do. I most definitely love Where. I'm the number one fan, and dude, my iPod's about to die. I think I said this on like a year ago. It's still alive, dude. But I said it last time. That's the only place that stuff lives for me. I don't have
Let's hear fecal right now.
Troy zero warm up fecal now.
I think we
dude.
want to hear fecal, Troy.
Oh, dude. It'll
you
definitely
play it?
sound fecal. That's for
Who
sure.
cares? Let's just play.
I don't think it'll actually come
Anthony
through really
can
well.
sing along, and it'll be like all delayed and crazy, but it'll be
It'll
awesome.
just be me
Right?
and
It'll be all,
Troy,
like,
dude,
off
just
by, like,
drums
2
and
seconds.
vocals. I'll do it if you do it, dude.
I know he's got to do the hard part.
Oh. What's this now? Play fecal? You're gonna do the vocals?
Just drums and vocals right now.
It'll be
No, dude, this will be a mess right now. This will be a
I don't know
mess.
how that would sound.
Can you play along to the track? Do you have like it in your background
Can you-
or
can you-
anywhere?
Can you hear that?
You could just play like whatever track. No, I don't hear.
Oh, you don't hear the music? It's
No,
not
not
coming
right
through?
now. But there's a way to do
Again,
it.
if you're just listening, you
can
you
share
gotta watch
music.
this right now.
You can share it and play along. It's not like the best, but I think it works.
This is
Oh,
why
I hear
pay
something.
you.
Oh, I heard that. What was that?
It was a fart, maybe.
Scorched, yeah. Spawn of Possession, Scorched. That's like
Oh,
300
Scorched.
BPM, right?
Sick, dude. Yeah, it sounds.
Damn, it would be
easy.
cool if you could hear that.
No. So you could share and try that, like,
Okay, no. Just play
or just play
play
drums.
Regulators by Warren G. Just do that.
Just do one beat and see if we can even hear
Play
it.
play drums. Just do what you want, homie.
Play
now-
California Love by Tupac.
Play whatever you feel like playing.
Just hit some drums and see if they. I don't think they'll even show up through the mic, so it's
I
all
think
good.
it's
No, I just want to see what happens.
just
Just to
that.
play.
We don't know. We can all speculate. We don't know, dude.
I
He's
just want to
trying to
hear. You
figure
can
it.
hear the drums on the stream.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what
Just
you're
do
saying?
some beats, see what happens.
You hear the kick?
Well, you're frozen right as it happens.
No, he's not
Okay,
frozen.
okay, go.
No,
Sorry,
that's what I'm
frozen for a
saying.
second.
Can you hear the
No, you're
kick? I don't
fine.
know.
I can hear
You-
that.
You
Yeah,
can-
I could hear that. Yeah.
I can't hear shit.
Oh no, I don't
Sick,
hear that.
dude. Yeah, sick.
Yeah, we can't.
No. There you go.
That's weird. It's coming through my.
I heard
vocal
it.
mic, I guess.
No, I heard it. Do that again.
I'm gonna mute it. Mute everyone.
Wow.
Keep going. Keep
Yeah,
going.
buddy.
A little more. A little more.
I had to mute
Oh.
everyone because everyone keeps talking and taking it over, so I have to mute people.
I know. I was muted.
Yeah,
right?
you got the software wants to pick and choose whoever's talking.
Yeah.
I
exactly.
can hear the drums clear.
I could right there for sure when no one was talking. though.
Why did you mute me?
Oh.
All right, Troy. One more, dude. Is that cool?
So if you mute everybody, I want to see if you can
Yeah.
hear it without this mic on. No? It's not okay. Now I'm looking at myself.
I heard
Yes,
it.
sir. I could hear it.
I don't know. People
Definitely
say
sounds good, but I mean, dude, we're not
can
trying to do the whole dance monkey dance thing either, dude. So
oh no, that was sick. That was thanks,
Wow.
Troy. That fucking was rad.
yeah,
Right on.
Yeah, you had
No,
drums in
I
front of
mean,
you. It was sick to hear him.
I don't want to put him on the spot, but he's
not
a
us.
great drummer. I've
Oh, he
played with
killed
him
it.
so
That's
many
sick.
times. I love listening to him.
Fuck yeah.
But we're also here to interview him, like, you know. Oh, what are we really? Okay,
Dude,
All
that
right,
was
all right.
awesome.
I love this. I
dude.
love
There's
the
too
chat
much
right
going
now.
on with the popping the chat up while I'm talking, dude. If you
Please
pop that
squirt.
up, it throws me off.
I
It
pay
was
him
like,
with French
I can't
fries.
handle all this chat.
My
Just
eyes are
beat it
getting
out,
too
brother.
closed, dude.
Well, you know, it happens. There's a lot going on, dude. It's very complicated now.
Why? Why is it complicated?
I mean, all the stuff going on, like all the comments in the chat.
Nah, dude,
It's
totally
definitely
chill.
more to keep track of on here than when you guys were just doing straight to YouTube, huh?
Yeah, I can't do it, dude. I can't. If I try and pay attention to the chat during these things, it throws me off, and then I like have to sit there and wait and figure out where we're at in the conversation again. So I just kind of like. But then you pop it up, and it's still like, it's totally just throwing me off. But that's fine, dude. It's no big deal. I'm not. Why is it turning into this now? Like, oh yeah, dude.
Tell us how you really feel.
Definitely drunk alert now. I'm definitely after this tall can. I'm feeling it.
It's just
But that's
a
fine.
learning curve. Like in the beginning, you just had to figure out how to have a conversation with 4 or 5 people at the same time.
Uh-huh.
3 resident homies plus
Yep.
whoever the
Yep.
guest or guests were. Sometimes
Mhm.
there's 6 people.
Yeah,
And that-
that's
I mean, it
that's
works,
a crazy one,
right?
Like the cryptopsy one was so gnarly, dude.
I don't even know how we got
yeah,
that done. We were like
more
fighting.
people, huh?
Yeah, we had to like fight to like get like we had to wait like for the perfect time and like jump in because there's like 37 people in like a chat. Like,
Yeah,
like
but
trying
it
to
was
get
still
everyone.
super cool, like to pull it off. But really, that was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy. It still was fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it was
I-
actually went pretty
it made
smooth.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. For
I
sure.
love to have Mike back on, dude. Like Mike's a character, dude, and he's always been good on the show, and that's one other thing that I love about this podcast is like that dude was a guy that I just listened to while I was in high school, and now we are in touch, not as like often, but still like whenever we talk to each other, it's like it's a like a friend, a real friendship, and having him on the show, like it just makes me feel so awesome that we're like pulling this off, dude. Like so many people that we've talked to. Why am I talking about the fucking podcast again now? Because you just put me on blast and then I just go for it. Dude, you guys got to learn how to cut me off right. Just be like, shut up. No, actually, don't do that.
Yeah. Now that you know will play GIFs or GIFs, however you want to pronounce it. You just got to get some like
I just learned that it's GIFs.
Play.
Is it GIFs?
I call it GIF, but
I know, but somebody said it was a GIF, and I'm like,
that's fucking peanut butter, dog.
Right.
I know why. That's exactly what I said. Like it starts with a G, not a J.
Oh. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. When I say GIF, I'm like, all right, boomer. Here's my fucking
I'll be back in the GIF.
picture. Yeah, exactly.
Isn't
Troy,
a Jiffy is an actual time measurement? If you look it up, I think it is. Like
Jiffy.
Jiffy actually means
it's like
a measurement of time.
Oh yeah,
kind of like a fortnight. Not the video game, but the measurement of time.
Are you like one of those people? It's like, I'll be back in 2 seconds. It's like it's been 2 seconds. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a Jiffy. It's like, oh, that means you're like,
oh shit. We had this argument in 2002.
Yeah, totally. Really?
God, we're bringing back some boomer stuff, but
some old memories.
Boomer stuff.
So what's it called? No, actually, I have a question for Troy. So, is there like obviously all the shows you played and stuff like that? Let's just get into this one. What's your like most embarrassing fuck up? Like whether it was you. Whether it was Anthony saying "Eternite," or whether it was I'm just kidding.
That was whether it was the recording.
I know.
That was wrong.
But what was the worst fuck up that you can remember? Did you guys ever train wreck in front of a lot of people, like in front of Cannibal? Like what's the worst shit?
Really quickly in Anthony's defense, when you're doing death metal vocals, like sometimes you got to just pronounce the words how they need to sound so that
it sounded so stupid, dude. I had to take a day session at Castle Ultimate, and we came back out of it, and there I don't even know what song it is, but I say "Into Eternity" on a song, but I said "Into Eternity."
Respect my authority.
We left it, and we're listening to it, and everything's great, and then all of a sudden I said "Into Eternity," and I was like, "That is."
Was Severed? You do that too?
No, with you.
Oh no, that was Zach Oren telling you to change it around. Okay, no, Zach Oren was like, I don't like that Into Eternity. Can you try Into Eternity?
Oh, he made me say that.
Yeah, and then you're like, all right. Well, we were all like, huh. Like,
I thought it was a flub on my part.
No, me and Casey were kind of like looking at each other like, I guess we'll try it because we're fucking freaked out because it's our first time in like a real studio for a Cryptic Implosion. And he was like, do Into Eternity. And then we like slept on it. We came back the next morning or the next day and we were like, no.
Wow.
Dude.
This is a perfect example of how memories can be molded differently for humans, because I literally thought that was my flub in the studio.
No,
and then
you did it
everybody
fine.
was like laughing at it, and then I was like,
no,
that was it's not in Eternity. It's Eternity.
It was a weird request that like Zach was like adamant about. He's like, no, Into Eternity, not T. And we're all like fucking stoned and in our first like fucking recording experience, like we'll do whatever you say, Mr. Guy that makes sound good. Yeah. And we basically did it, and then next day we were like, no, we're going back to T, dude.
Yeah,
it sounded like T. I don't know, anyways. But
it's
back
not
to
the
Troy.
way you would say it. Yeah.
So so the question's kind of being answered in the chat a little bit. Never train wrecked in front of Cannibal, luckily. I had triggering issues and some other things on that tour. I lost my temper in front of Cannibal. That was not very becoming of me.
Over what? What brought that on?
Touring tensions and dealing with gear loading in and loading out. And
did you make a noise? Were you like?
No, I was throwing shit around and
Oh shit.
Screaming
Okay.
like-
Like throwing
Rest of that.
drumsticks.
Well,
and, like
it was
we were
like
talking earlier.
one of the rare days I decided to hang out in the bar and drink with everybody instead of making sure everything was getting done. And then it was like time to go. We're getting kicked out. My drums were still in the club and everything else was on the bus. And I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Damn.
So anyway, yeah, Hulk rage. But the train wrecking I did, it was pretty embarrassing. It wasn't a ton of people, but there was a series of shows. Holy cow!
Shit.
I just caught a
I stuck
glimpse
him in
of a
for a
rare
second.
species.
That
of
literally
professor.
just hit me. That hit me in the
You didn't
chest.
have a good
Holy
view
shit.
yet, but I threw him in for a second.
The professor is here, dude.
What's up, buddy?
At least in-
we can't.
audio.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we
It
go.
looks good. But yeah, so yeah.
No way.
What up? How's it
No
going, man?
way.
Sorry to interrupt. Just saying what's up.
Oh yeah.
Right on.
Just
What's
finishing the jam.
You're just a little bit late, bro. Just kidding. Glad you made it. Just joking.
Yeah, dude, we just practiced and
Sick.
put a bunch of t-shirts into boxes to take to Phoenix tomorrow.
Nice.
Nice. Oh yeah.
And fucking we're playing Phoenix and then Long Beach on Saturday and then San Diego on Sunday. And just popping in to promote the shows and say what's up to Troy. And I got to head out in just a sec now, but I just wanted to make it a little appearance. So
It's all good, dude. We
Hell yeah,
wanted
man.
to plug
yeah.
those shows for you earlier. We were not technically ready. We thought about it in the moment and like, oh, dude, Joseph's missing, but he's got these shows going. We should be promoting them. But yeah, dude. So Phoenix, where it Friday night?
yeah, at the Blues is the name of the venue with dude, the band's changed. So there's a band on the bill literally called Duck. How Duck sounds. I'm super stoked on
I
Duck.
don't get it. What's so
I'm
funny?
super
Some
stoked.
quack
I
metal.
like it.
What's so funny?
They
Bunch
probably
of quackheads, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's a band called Coloscopy Bag, I think, also. That should be sick.
That should be sick, dude. Yeah, I agree.
The Saturday show in Long Beach is with Teeth and Sunless, and those are great bands. And
Hell
Burning
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that one's going to be really sick.
Well, sorry, what was the last band? Burning what?
Burning Palace.
Burning Palace. Okay.
Nice.
Pick them out, but I will. And then Sunday in San Diego is with the homies in Paroxysmal Butchering. Yeah, it's actually Duck with a capital K at the end, kind of like Metallica with like the
Oh
A.
shit.
Or
There you go.
corn.
Uh-oh.
I really
That's
should
what's
share
up.
them. So
Nice.
Well, dude, hey, dude, I always love seeing the professor. I'm glad I got to see you this week,
fuck yeah,
even if
dude.
it's just for a second. How was that? How was that jam? You guys ready?
It's feeling good, dude. It's feeling. You think you know the set, and then it just keeps getting easier, to be honest. And so I think this is like our 5th through 7th shows, so I'm feeling really solid about it.
Sick,
And
dude.
I just know they'll keep getting better, and then we'll start adding new songs, and it's real exciting. So I got
Fuck yeah, man.
Derek here. What's up, Derek?
What up? What up, guy? Oh, dude, we didn't get the chat ready for you, dude. You had your home.
I know. We had to tell the chat you're here, so like 50 people show up.
Seriously, yeah.
Well, dude, I'm super happy for you, Joseph. I'm glad you guys are having fun, dude, and go crush them, bro.
Yeah. And Troy, I was there for, I don't know if it was your first or second stream, but that shit was fucking sick. And I know you've been on here talking about your stream setup. I want to hear about it. I'll watch the episode to get the deets because that shit sounded awesome and looked great. And
Dude, that's perfect.
You're the best death metal drummer on Twitch right now, like from the very first episode. So
What up? I was gonna say that's perfect,
Damn.
Joseph, because we actually did not get into the deets on your setup. So
No.
thank you so much for that little fucking seed right there to start the conversation after you leave, bro.
Pulling
All right.
it out of the weeds.
and I'll fucking watch and hear later. Okay, guys, have a good one.
Hell
Rock
yeah.
on, dude.
Right on.
Oh,
Derek,
yeah.
later, brother.
Have a
Hey,
good
he's
one,
out.
man.
Peace out, everybody.
Yeah.
Later,
peace out.
dude.
Nice, dude. We got a little fucking
Dude,
professor.
yeah.
It
That's
sounded like he
awesome.
was like in a baseball stadium to me. Did it sound like that to you guys?
Well, he's just probably because his headphones weren't
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
He was trying them in the
It
beginning.
was kind of cool to.
Yeah, that was super.
Yeah, I
cool,
like that. We
dude.
should just send links to random people and just have them just
like
jump
that.
in,
That's
like
what
people
I've
on
tried
tour and
before.
just be like,
I
yeah.
have before. People sometimes log in,
Yeah.
but not usually.
Okay, so let's get into
Yeah.
it, Troy. Like, he wants to know like how you set up all your stuff, dude. So how many cameras? Where do you? How long did it take you to figure it out and all that shit?
I'm being told to talk about the train wreck. Damn it!
Oh
But,
shit. We'll get to that first, then, and then we'll go on to that. Sorry,
Yeah, that's
All right,
where we
let's
were.
just
Yeah,
put
I
yeah.
was in the middle of that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's definitely, worth talking about. But you must make the people happy.
No, totally do.
So
No,
there was a period of time in probably like 2002 or early 2003, something like that, which I think was when Mike was not in the band for a little while, and it was me, Murray, Dusty, I think Jared for at least some of those shows, and I want to say Sean. And to kind of throw back to the conversation earlier about playing things too fast, Joel was talking about looking around at the crowd and looking at the screens and potentially getting distracted. Well, once upon a time we're playing a set and we're in the middle of Steel Toe Abortion, and that is one of the oldest, grooviest, kind of slowest, easiest songs for me. So I guess I started kind of spacing out during that song a lot of times. And I started to look around at the crowd. It was like a Catch My Breath song or something. And I'm looking around at the crowd and the venue, and I kind of all of a sudden I become aware of the fact that I'm just playing a song, but I'm not paying attention to the song where I am. I've been playing fine this whole time, but all of a sudden I become like self-conscious of the fact that I've been spacing out in the middle of the song. And then all of a sudden I was like, shit, where am I? What part of the song? Is this the first part of this? The first time we do this in the first half of the song, or the second time? I'm like, I don't know where I'm at in the song because I haven't been paying attention. And so then I like missed a change and fucking train wrecked it. And everybody was like, look at me like, oh, that's weird. Like, this is the easiest song.
You were
we
right in
got.
the middle of a song, and then it was just like fucking.
Yeah. Boom, the bridge goes out. And it's perfect timing. And
You guys talking shit or what?
Lee's leaving. Lee, take it easy, Lee.
Lee, later, bro.
Yeah. So
Later,
it was
buddy.
one of those things, just random event, right? And so we played the song again, next practice or whatever. Everything was fine. But I realized, like, when I play that song, I tend to space out and think about other things, but whatever. Next show, a few weeks later, a month later, whatever. We had a lot of shows in a short amount of time during those early years. Next show was the same thing. We got to that song. I started spacing out. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the song, I realized I was spacing out, got completely lost, and train wrecked it again. It just happened.
Was it the same song?
Same song, Steel Toe Abortion, like one of the slowest, easiest songs. I did this like 4 shows in a row. It was in the beginning, it happened at the show, and then we would play it at practice and it'd be fine. But after the second or third time, I started train wrecking at practice because I was getting in my head so badly how I was fucking up this song and losing my place. Yep. And it was like, so I think after like the 4th time, the guys were like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Maybe it's like a chill song. So you're like, compared to the other songs, so you said it was like a more groovy one that you're just like, okay, let's get to chill. And then you're just chilling and then fucking.
Yep. Fireball. Just gravity doing its job.
It totally is you getting in your head, though. You think about it. It's like, it is this like rabbit hole you fall into of, I keep doing this one thing. Or it's like the people who keep saying, I can't say this, I can't say this. And then they just blurt it out, you know?
Yeah.
It's that same kind of thing that happens in the brain.
It's like a weird mental block. Like I got to the point where I couldn't play the song because I could only play the song correctly if I wasn't thinking about what I was playing. Because it's like I'd forgotten the song unless I was doing it subconsciously. And so, yeah, I got to the point where I couldn't play the song for a while because it's like I would just forget it if I thought about what I was doing in the middle of the song, and I couldn't make it through the song without thinking about the song and
Yeah.
the fact that I keep train wrecking it. Yeah.
Did it
it's
give
like,
you a little bit of anxiety like when that started to happen and then like, okay, let's try steel toe abortion right now?
first time was like, oh, that was weird. Second time I was like, what the hell? Third time I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
There is something about the human
Fourth
brain
time
that
I was
does that
like-
though.
I just like, yeah, like,
There's something about the brain that, like, I mean, you know that you've train wrecked on it before, and it gets called out again, and you're like, all right, I've train wrecked this before. You know, it's like hanging over you a little bit, and then you're kind of maybe overthinking, even though it's a simple, like, compared to your songs, it's like one of the more simpler songs. Like, it could be like festering more than it should, and then like you're kind of, exactly, like
Yeah.
a mental spiral. Just like
Yep.
before you know it, you're like, I can't fuck this up, and then so many times in life. Even the bedroom, where you have times when you're like, I don't want to, like, I got to do a great thing. I got to kill it right here. I got to kill it. And you're like, shit. And then your wiener does a great job.
it's just the segue there was beautiful.
I'm 37.
Oh man.
Sorry.
It is though. It's that
it is.
mental
It's your
spiral,
brain.
dude.
It-
and then
it happens to
you are
everybody, Joel. It's okay.
self-sabotaging at that point.
Self-sabotaging. Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
self-sabotaging cycle of self-sabotage kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's involuntary too. You
Totally.
know,
Yeah.
Did I said that right? Involuntary. Yeah,
You put a little accent on the very end, but it
a
was
little too much at the end.
Involuntary.
Yeah, that's what made me
involuntary.
question it. That's what made me
Terry.
question it. It was
Into
last
eternity.
little
Yeah, into eternity.
eternity.
Your wiener does a good job, Cali Deathmatch. Oh shit. Yes.
Oh
yes.
man.
So yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the stream setup. Did we get through the whole train wreck thing?
Yeah. More or
Okay.
less. I think that was
I was
probably
going to say
the worst.
your camera
Yeah.
setup and all that. Joseph was impressed by it, so let's get into the deets on that.
All right. I thought about this earlier and I was like, I wish there was some way I could show it, but I don't know how to do that. So see, it all started way back in 2018. No, anybody that knows me well knows that every story is a long story. In like 2017, I started getting really interested in podcasts and YouTube videos and stuff. I wanted to do cover videos and playthroughs, and I actually got so far as to basically starting a podcast. Not so different from this one, except for I was trying to do it with people in person, and I was in Vegas, and there's a lot of people and a lot of bands that tour and come through Vegas. I'm like, I know enough people that I could pull guys from bands and do a podcast with them. So I got some cameras and I got a mixer, actually like a 14-track recorder thing, and recorded like 3 episodes that I never actually edited them or put them on YouTube. But anyway, then that kind of all went on hold. So hence I get back to playing. I'm being inspired to play music again. I'm like, I want to do cover videos. I want to do playthroughs for, Severed stuff, Genocide Architect. I'd like to relearn the Carnivorous stuff, Ware songs, whatever. And then, the Twitch, I was like, well, I have some cameras and some gear. Like, I could probably make this work. So that's kind of how it started. So I have 4 Canon Rebel something T6s or something like that. They're like it's like a $600 camera. I had a Dell credit account in 2017 or 2018 that I ran up, and so that's kind of the start of it. And then things that I learned, trying to learn video production stuff about lighting and focal depth and that kind of thing. So it's actually really bright in here, and I still don't have enough light to actually run the cameras at like the best settings for the most, the clearest.
So that's
video.
what you need is the right lighting to get the maximized HD out of your cameras.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Like on the first Severed podcast we did, how I kind of overdid it, so I was like a floating head in the sea of black.
Real quick, that was hilarious. I'll go right back to the story, but how when we were setting up for that episode, your camera was like fucking, I want to say like 10 feet away from you.
Yeah,
Like, because it like you zoomed out on accident and you were just like, it was like your whole fucking place that you were in. And like, you had this camera that was like way in the corner of your room or something that was just zoomed in on you. And I was like, damn, must be a fancy fucking camera.
well, that's because that's a 50 millimeter lens, so it's a fairly long lens, so it's got to be pretty far away from you. And it's like the cheapest 50 millimeter you can get, but it's I don't know, $150 or something like that. A good one is like $800 to $2,000, but
Yeah.
that one has a pretty good quality glass and stuff for the price range, and has a what they call a low f-stop, so you can get a really shallow depth of field, which is where you're clear but the background's blurry. And a lot of that comes to how far you are away from the background, and then how your foreground lighting is, and then background lighting. Like, so if I have lights in front of me, obviously shining on my face and everything, and then I have lights behind me that are shining down at an angle behind me, which is what the backlighting, so you can see my shoulders stand out from the wall and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I nerd out on stuff. I go down the rabbit hole. I watch a lot of videos and do a lot of reading.
Dude, my lighting is a lamp next to me, and the lighting over there is just pointed
Like
wherever.
curtain.
There's shadows behind me and shit. I'm just like, I could see right now.
It's
Yeah,
and that's totally normal, and it looks good, and it's like there's no reason.
And this is the blanket that I hang on the fucking curtains behind me. That's literally how I do it, dude. And it's the camera on my computer, but no.
Oh, damn.
Look at this baller shit.
Jesus, you bought one of those?
No,
Disco music coming in.
I was just. What are you talking about, dude? What?
Yeah.
But
you're killing it, man.
But
no, that I wish I
talking
could upgrade like the whole showmanship of my side of this. But I'm like, oh, dude, I got the mic that
dude, you've got the mic.
I got the mic that I can use forever. So it's just like, that's the main thing, dude.
That's when you're doing a podcast that's half, a lot of it is to be available for audio. So you got to have good audio, and you got that part covered.
Totally.
The video part
this
is cool.
Cloud lifter thing is what boosted it too. Like the first, I think the episode that I did, the Severed episode, I didn't even have that cloud lifter yet. That once the cloud lifter came in the mix, dude, it changed the game for sure.
Because you have to like churn your. I mean, I think you almost have to use it with some of the mics, especially that mic. I think it needs like a.
I think it needs the phantom power.
Yeah, phantom power, exactly.
It's probably built into it, right? You don't want to turn the thing up to maximum anything.
Well, it needs. It's like such a powerful mic that it needs an extra boost, because it's it's not just like a normal mic, so it needs like an extra. It's like a.
It's like passive pickups versus active pickups.
That's what I just learned recently with Casey, is that this thing really only boosts the gain for me, right? So it's like I don't have to turn it up louder and get the hiss. Yeah.
Right. Clean gain. Yeah, exactly. Energizing the coils so they're more
that dirty that dust, the cloud of dust that it's lifting is from turning up your gain too much. And that makes it yes, I understand now. My brain wrapped around it finally.
Just like your mic wrapped around your boom stand.
After tonight, maybe I might wrap it around. No, I'm just joking.
Answering not a drunk's question there. Yeah, the SM7B
autoerotic asphyxiate. No,
super good all around mic.
Yeah, totally.
Do podcasts, do vocals. All kinds of shit.
Actually, to be honest with you, I had the choice of getting the SM7B versus the SM58, and it was just after listening to doing the difference between Anthony's and Casey's vocals. I thought Casey's vocals sounded more bassier and boomier with the SM58 versus the SM7B, but it's not like the SM7B can capture more around the mic. It could be like more of a room
you could
mic.
Talk at it from any angle.
Yeah, I think the SM58 sounds better directly like this. Like it sounds better than the SM7B. But the SM7B.
How do I sound right now?
I can still hear you. I guess I can't hear you perfectly, but I can hear you pretty fucking well.
Okay, so
it's like how do I sound right now?
Yeah,
It's like
Somebody
watch
clip this.
I know, right? It's the same thing as like it's
Uh,
the like how do I sound right now? How do I sound?
Oh yeah, it definitely drops off when you go to the
like
side.
you're in another room.
Penis.
Yeah, sick
But,
for all the times that we like talk like this.
Well, dude, I had this
Super
question.
necessary.
It's like one of these fucking things that I just fucking. But anyways,
Yeah, that's why
so
it's
yeah,
so good, like for the podcast and everything else, because you don't have to have it right in front of your face the whole time and just be like, can't see your face. You can have
Yeah,
it farther away off to the
move
side.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like kind of phallic objects close to my mouth. But anyways,
Well,
so you
personal preference, but you know,
but and hot
whatever
dogs
works
and
for you.
popsicles. Yeah, totally.
Whatever
But,
floats your boat, so you can, go bananas and beat it out.
Go bananas and beat it out.
Literally.
Banana out. Banana.
It's one of those things where
Isn't your mics? Aren't your mics more
Stupid.
live type mics though? Like
Yeah.
you guys, you're Casey and
Yep.
all three of you guys.
Well, it's
have
just
more of a live.
It's
This
like
is
Batman. It's like
$20
Batman.
Radio Shack mic, but it works okay.
What's up, baby?
Yeah.
Because my
No, I'm
live
sorry.
ones
I'm stupid. It's like Scooby Doo.
Shure Beta 58A. That's the one that I have.
Oh, that's your wireless mic. But anyways,
Yeah,
that wireless mic is sick too. By the way, that's a solid mic.
I know, dude. I
Sorry, what
found
are you
it. I found it recently, and I literally had this moment where I was like, I don't know if I left a. I don't know if I left a battery. I don't know if I left a battery in the bottom of it. And if you leave a battery in something,
Yep.
it's gonna just ruin it. And so I had this moment. I found it, and I had this moment of like, oh, dude, I'm about to find out if I need to buy another mic. And I cracked it open. No motherfucking battery, dude. I was fucking so stoked, dude. I was
And then
like,
he's
you
like,
were
"Where's the battery?"
responsible enough before you put this away for a while, dude.
Yeah. It cracks me up about you, which is like how with cars and stuff, how much you understand cars and how technical fucking cars are. Like cars are fucking insane. Like as far as like how they all work together and stuff. But like anything like electronic or anything, you're just like don't even. It's like way easier, and you're like, I don't even get it, dude. It's like it's too easy. I don't know. It's like you have to press a button, dude.
Well,
what the fuck is that,
well,
dude?
you have to figure out. You have to realize that what I do on cars is all like it's not
Muscle memory
electronic.
at this point.
And it's not electronic though.
But it's harder to
dealing with the
understand.
physical aspects of a car. I'm dealing with the suspension of the car, so there's no electronics involved in that.
It's still way harder to understand, dude. It's way harder to understand.
Dude, I literally got my computer going for this podcast. Before this podcast, we didn't have a computer at my house. I had this thing sitting in a box.
Neighbors' Wi-Fi.
Neighbors' Wi-Fi in the beginning because we didn't have internet. And then finally it was like, all right, Wi-Fi is too shoddy from the neighbors, so I got to actually pay for internet. So we got internet. All of that was for the podcast, dude. All of it was for the podcast. Getting this computer set up, getting internet at my house. What up? God damn it. Every fucking podcast now, you guys are just fucking putting my work on blast.
I didn't put
all right, where do you work? Give me your wait, you work at home,
I
Joel?
didn't put the address.
Joel, you work at home?
That's not me. I didn't do that
okay.
one. That was not me.
I can't do that. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's not a
It's
bad
cool.
thing, but at the same thing, it's like it's just like what if like a
look it up online. And if you look it up online, the address is there.
I know, but if we
I
didn't
thought it was cool because
name,
the palm tree. I'm sorry.
No, it's not a bad
It's
thing.
the only
It's just
living
like
palm tree in
I have
South
this
Central.
feeling of like I have this feeling of people like showing, but nobody's gonna show up in my work. That's the whole thing.
I almost
It's
showed
like,
up at your work
makes me
on.
paranoid.
I almost showed up on Tuesday because I was at
Kinda
Pat's
famous.
house.
I don't know.
And I was leaving Pat's house, but because I was at Pat's house from like right when you got off work and we went to the Deftones show immediately, and then I left Tuesday morning, and I was like, ooh, I could just try to have Anthony like align my car or something. That'd be fun.
I could
It's like
be
a
a little-
tourist thing.
tourist thing, yeah, dude.
Yeah. Hey, if it's tourism with metalheads stopping by your
What
fucking
kind of
work
car
and-
do you drive again?
It's a 2020 Accord Sport.
Yeah, dude, I could have done that shit in 15 minutes. You could have.
I just got out.
Give me a
I
hug.
just got out of the shop though. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I just wanted the hugs.
Fuck your shop, dude.
Whatever, dude. It's free. How much do you charge? Do you charge free?
I would definitely not charge you for that fucking alignment. It would take me 10 minutes to do.
Other
And also,
than hugs.
it also gave me a free tire one time when I popped a tire. So shout out to the Trapanis for giving me a tire and taking me out to sushi after they put a tire on my fucking shit. And fucking Casey still got to the airport because I was taking Casey to the airport and a tire popped on the fucking freeway and I had to pull in the middle of the freeway. Anthony came, grabbed Casey, took him to the airport, came, I got my fucking shit towed to his shit, and then fucking free tire. His parents were fucking awesome. It's a great fucking family. Family-owned fucking business. Fucking go spend your money there. Don't go to Midas. Don't go to... Okay, anyways.
Yeah.
But,
you know what's funny is that I don't even remember that day until right now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I totally remember when that happened, dude.
I mean,
I
you
literally
remembered it, but then, you know...
Well, dude, life
Marijuana.
just, it's just, no, it's not even marijuana. It's just like so many things happen. They get all piled up. But then things like this, a conversation reignites that memory that is in there still. And I totally remember I had to come with like a jack. Oh, no, I didn't tow your car.
Boom. No, you didn't tow it, but I had a...
I came and
I had AAA.
Okay, yeah.
A
So that's what
triple
it
debit to
was.
your
I
house.
came and I picked up Casey, took him to the airport, and then by that time you were already on your way back to the shop and we set you
Dude,
up.
I was going
Yeah.
fucking 80 in that old BMW I had, and I popped a tire going 80 on the 280. Is it?
Mhm.
Yeah, 280.
Yeah.
That was fucking. That's not a good position
Sounds
to be
fun.
in. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it was just like I gotta fucking pull over right away, and like, yeah, it was all bad. But anyways, Traps Tire and Auto saved the day. I vouch for them anytime.
And the
Use
whole
coupon
reason, obviously,
coupon
we're
code Cali Death. Fucking get a hug from Anthony. That's all he can give you because they need to make money. He has a family to support. Fucking go,
Totally.
fucking check them out. Right. All right, anyways, but
and by the way, it's called Traps, obviously, because my last name, we were all called Trap. That was our nickname. Everybody did.
I thought your dad called you bro.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying outside of the family,
Yeah.
nobody would call us by our first names. They would just say Trap. And
Is it
then
Trapani or Trapani? Depends on where
it's
you are.
actually multiple different ones, dude. I grew up as Trapani. That was what my family said, Trapani.
Is that an
but then-
Americanized version?
Yes, most
Okay,
definitely.
okay.
Because if you go over to Sicily, they say Trapani. And then if you go to Italy, they say Trapani.
Okay.
So it's like all these different variations, but I don't really give a shit, dude. You could say my name, whatever the fuck. Get my first name right, dude. You could say my first name right, correct? All right, you're good.
Yeah, I actually don't even care if people get my first name right. I get like at work and stuff. People are like, "Hey, Josh." I'm like, I'm not correcting you. This is on you, not me. We've met multiple times, and I've had actually there was like a high up executive that I worked with that was like one of the higher ones up, and he just kept calling me Josh, and because I worked with him years ago, but I came back and started working for him again. He's like, "Josh, fucking good to see you," and I was like, "I'm just gonna keep this going. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down for
Did you
people
think
to
a
get my name wrong."
nutsack? Did you think a nutsack every single time you?
Oh,
ate
yeah,
pizza?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I got Joe or Josh, and I was like, you know what? You got the J-O right. Fucking, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not here to
Yeah.
hang out with you, and like, I'm not trying to like start a friendship. Like,
It's two
I'll get-
4-letter names. They got the
Yeah.
first half right, dude. It's
exactly.
chill.
It's like Jennifer and Jessica or something. You know, it's like
Yeah.
Jenny or Jess. It's like Jen or Jess. It's like super close. Whatever. I'm not tripping.
Yeah. If somebody called me Andrew, though, I'd be like, that's weird because
Yeah, it's like, hey, Frankie. I'd be like, well, okay. Well, now I have to correct you. But yeah, that actually does hurt people's feelings getting names wrong and stuff. And for me, I'm like, I'm so bad with names. I resort to dude every time. You know, I'm like, what's up, dude? What's up, man?
dude?
How you doing, dude? Oh, what's going on, man? Or, like dude or man, male or female, doesn't matter. Like dude or man. It's just like what I'm going for. I just don't want to fucking. I don't care what your name is really that much. I mean, I do. Depends on who you are. But I'm like, I mean, if you're like someone I should know your name and we've hung out multiple times, and I'm like, fuck, I should know this. But it's like, whatever. Let's just have fun and laugh, and then.
And that's why you
jerk
don't
off.
care if people call you Josh because you blow it too. Everybody blows it, dude.
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of names you can keep track of, dude.
Yeah, there's certain people that nail it every time. You're like, fuck you, fucking wizard. Like, get out of
Dare
here.
you be so
Right.
good at remembering
Sorcerer.
names?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
exactly.
dude, what's wild? You just made me think of this other thing, and we brought up.
Oh my god.
I'm not-
So, this is a story I brought up on an old podcast. I can't believe you're fucking bringing that up, but it's a Circuit City story. But
That's so
I
out
might
of
have pissed on
context right now.
so I peed on a coworker's face that was on the ground at a work party because he was talking shit to me all night and he passed out by the toilet. and someone yelled "piss on his face" while I was peeing, and I just turned my wiener over for a second. I was all, and just gave him a little splash, And then I woke up in the morning and was like, "Oh my god, I have to work with this guy. Like this is the worst decision I've ever made." But
Shit.
so yes,
I turned my
people call me
wiener,
that
dude.
too.
What was the other wiener reference earlier? You got a lot of wiener references tonight, dude.
Dude, wieners are funny, dude. But so you use the SM58 and then you use the other mics. Well, I'm just like,
steer it
I don't want
back
to get
on.
into like, I don't want people to. He already remembers that story. That kind of worries me that people are remembering that story because that's something I was trying to keep in the
Bro,
past.
your conversations are recorded and then put out into the universe, dude.
In the ethos for the world to consume.
It's
forever.
out there. So everything you've said, everything I've said, it's all out there. Everybody can,
Shit.
That's why I say Traps Iron Auto Center is a great company, but one of these days, some dude's gonna fly in from Indonesia.
That's
You
sick.
know?
Maybe they'll show up with a new computer or something.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah, they'll show up with the fucking
They'll show up with some
power.
lights. Yeah.
Yeah, a new fucking back, like a backdrop
Yeah,
for you, a
green
green screen. Yeah,
That would
exactly.
be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a green screen because I would project the most random shit, dude. But
Me too, dude.
is it like green screen makes it to where I look like I'm literally like there's no seams? That get a different gift, dude.
I'm just fucking blasting for 1/2 second. But no, whatever is behind you, the computer can
Just
see.
do it.
Like it can
I know,
see
but
like
is
everything.
it like a even cut? Like does it really
Yeah.
like with
It
the
looks like
green
you're
screen,
there.
Yeah.
There's no like cut. There's no weird like artifacts on your face and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
no weird
up?
shit on your face.
So yeah, back to your live setup. So we didn't get very far. So where were you at with that? Because I have a finale for this whole podcast too that we're gonna do too.
Oh,
Boom.
sweet.
I don't
My
know anything about it.
main-
I'm excited now.
Yeah. I was gonna leave, but now I'm I'm in. So I got the 4 Canon cameras, and I'm using one of them that I've been using as a foot cam right now to talk to tonight because I've been using my laptop webcam because I can't. Technical difficulties suck, and it's really really grainy. So normally this camera would be on my feet, and then I've got one over each shoulder more or less, and then you can see this is a tripod that I literally got some brackets and screwed them to the wall,
Whoa.
and then got a hook from like Home Depot, screwed it into the wall and some cable, and I like wired the tripod. So I literally have a camera hanging over my head that one day will probably fall on me in the middle of a song. And it's not a light camera, so that's gonna suck. But
That'd be cool to be paying attention to that screen and
it'll
just
be
watch it
hopefully
fall
the
on it.
stream or whatever video I'm shooting will be on a top down shot when the camera falls. You'll just see like my head, like yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I'm using the laptop for like a kind of a front kind of close up talking or wide shot, and then the 2 on the right and left to kind of get perspective, like you're standing next to the drummer at a show kind of thing. And then the top down, just because it's, I don't know, I always like seeing that where you can see the whole kit and see what's going on from that angle. And then of course the feet, which are present on multiple of those angles, so you can see the feet while you're looking at the rest. Ideally I would like to get more at some point, get a better camera. It's just like what I would call like a talking head camera you talk to in between songs or whatever else, and then have one that's like farther, like a wider shot of the whole kit when I don't have so much junk in the corners I'm trying to hide. And then maybe one more angle somewhere else. I just to have more variety and stuff. But yeah, so I got those, and then I got a set of Audix mics that I got also in 2018. D2s, D4, D6, pretty decent. Not
for the kit, you're saying?
For the kit, yeah, to mic the kit. They're they're not the cheapest, but they're also not the best. But they sound all right, and
Mm-hmm.
do some demo quality recordings or live stuff. But yeah, and the 14 channel digital recorder, because I didn't want to have to deal with DAWs and computers at the time. I only had a shitty 10-year-old laptop, and probably wouldn't work well anyway. So I'm going to get a hardware recorder, so it's a separate standalone thing, and the laptop can come with me, and I don't have to worry about plugging stuff in and out all the time and syncing. And so that's pretty much what I run everything through. Actually, I'm using my old ass laptop to play music and then I like a small mixer that I used to use for live shows for my in-ears to hear kicks and stuff like that. And then I run that all into the big one, and then that goes into an interface into the computer. And it's super simple.
Yeah.
Except it's not. But then, everybody that I've been watching that's streaming, it's kind of the same thing. Like the guitar players especially, they're like, oh, I've got this plugged into that goes into this, that goes into that pedal, that goes into that, and then that goes into a mixer, then that goes into the interface, and that goes into my computer. It's like but part of the reason, like I said, having the separate components and hardware stuff is just eliminates some of the software mixer issues with latency and other things, I guess. So but yeah, that's kind of it.
That's cool, dude. I mean, having that whole setup is impressive, no doubt. I mean, even though you're saying it's simple, it's like for the professor to be like, "Oh, dude, he's got a real setup." I was like, "Oh, I really got to see what's going down." And 4 cameras, all these microphones. I'm like, "Oh, that's how you make
Well,
a."
Yeah, I'm not trying to say it's simple. Like obviously, there's plenty of people doing good stuff with a lot less. But it was kind of, like I said, I was collecting somebody. I always wanted to have like drum mics and a recorder and all that stuff. And so it's something I was able to put together 2017, 2018, and then ultimately didn't do what I was going to do with it. And
I want to take it back to that podcast you were talking about. So that was news to me. You may have mentioned it to me, but I don't remember it currently.
That was 5 years ago.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, and there's 3 episodes. So what did you was it one of those things where, because I know what one of these things is where you get super excited on something, you start it, and then it just kind of just fizzles out. Is that kind of like what happened?
Yeah,
because you were saying it was unedited. Like once you recorded everything, the things got in the way to where you couldn't edit, and then you just realized that life got in the way and you didn't put it out. Yeah.
Like a lot of things, projects in my life, I tend to overanalyze and then make them way too complicated. So, it's like I could have got a couple microphones, a cheap interface, and a laptop, and like 1 camera, and that would have been enough. But no.
Yeah,
I wanted it to be super pro and look good, so I wanted to. I mean, they're not really expensive cameras; they're like $600 cameras, but they're one of the cheapest Canons.
As an initial investment, you went higher than the normal.
Well, yeah, because you have there's a bar that's been probably set already from what you're seeing already. So you're like, fuck, I don't want to like start like way lower than the bar, Gotta like
it's like when you're talking about musical influences or something. Like when you've got when your influences are fucking Al Di Meola or Carter Buford or something from Dave Matthews Band, you're like, that's a high bar. So you're always looking at that bar. It's like that's what you want to meet. So yeah, I could have used a webcam on my laptop, and I mean, these are like $20 mics, but it's not a Shure SM anything. It's literally like
it's an unsure.
It's definitely an unsure.
It's an unsure, dude.
I'm amazed. Yeah, I'm amazed that it works as good as it does. But I got complex with it. So I got the recorder, and then I started with 3 cameras. So I had like a wide shot, and then I had 2 different directions to, so you'd have like a close-up shot of the 2 of like me on one side of a table and somebody else on the other side of the table. Started with 3 angles, and then I was like, 3's not enough. I need a 4th one. So then I got a 4th camera, and then figured out, how to set it all up and where to route the audio, and I had to have some audio coming from a camera so I could sync the video later, and going through all those hurdles. And actually, I think it was actually, now that I think about it, 4 episodes. I did one with Mike Hamilton from Deeds of Flesh and Exhumed.
Mm.
I did one with Big Mike from Las
Oh,
Vegas
shit.
Death Fest.
Oh, big
Did one with Sean Starrett, who is vocalist guitarist from the Genocide Architect, and one with Brian, guitarist from Genocide Architect. And it's like I was trying to create this like set in my living room. So I had the table and I had shit in the background, and I'm trying to get the distance, so it looks cool and the right lighting, and just put so much time and effort into the production. And then I finally, get these people to come over and sit down and talk with me for a couple hours. And then I'm realizing, like, editing 4 cameras together and syncing audio on my computer. Like, now I got to learn video editing software. Fuck. Like,
Oh yeah, it's another fucking level, dude.
yeah, like it became, I made it like this huge project where it's so much work for one person, and then who's learning it on the fly, and just the learning curve and everything.
How
Are you
long were
using
the
OBS?
episodes?
Oh, sorry.
What's that? No, it's okay. We get to both of those. My
I
question
agree
was,
with one.
how long were the episodes? What was yours, Joel?
Oh, are you using OBS?
Whatever one you want to go first.
I'm using OBS. Well, I've been going back and forth between OBS Studio and Streamlabs OBS now for streaming with Twitch. But at the time, I was just recording it onto SD cards on the cameras and then importing the footage into the computer.
Okay.
And then I was trying to learn Sony Vegas, and then I started learning Adobe Premiere, and the cheaper, easier, more intuitive interfaced editors also have a lot less features, or things that you can't really modify or do. So it's like I just found a better one that was harder to use, and I had to learn more. And then I was like, I need to go from Sony Vegas to Adobe Premiere, because that's the one that is like the bar, right? And so
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions right now. One is, again, you didn't get to. I mean, you haven't gotten to it yet. So actually, I have 3 questions now. How long were the episodes?
Right.
And I forget the other 2 questions. Go for it.
And like make up 2 questions.
No, I really had something, but it'll resurface when he starts talking.
I want to say they were probably they could have gotten shorter once they were edited down, but these, I wanted to start with people that I knew well and was super comfortable talking to, or they'd be comfortable talking with me. And so, we would sit down with a couple beers and just start chatting, and then I'd hit record, and then I'd start working into the, kind of the agenda, and we would vary, and you go off into the weeds and then guide it back, bring it back on topic. So the raw footage is probably in that 2.5 to 3 hour range, I would say.
Okay.
And it's very similar in length to,
I'd love to see the Hamilton one, dude. Maybe. Do you still have that stuff unedited?
Oh yeah. I still have it. Yeah.
What, dude?
It's on my to-do list. I just keep
adding.
adding more projects, so I never get the other ones done.
Yeah.
But that's stuff that I'm sure people would want to hear. You and Mike wax poetic on death metal drumming for 2 hours or whatever.
It was a super fun. I think Mike was the first one I did too. So I don't know how the audio might be not as good in that one, but it was fun. It was right after he had been in Vegas for the Las Vegas Death Fest in 2017, and he came down and helped. I pitched in for quite a few years now, doing stagehand type of tech work, roadie work, doing lights.
Yeah, that's the last time I saw you in physical form was at Las Vegas Death Fest, and you were totally in your zone on doing what you're
right
talking about right now.
Yeah, so the first couple of years, Mike Williams would basically stage manage, and then I would drum tech and kind of roadie. And then in 2017, I realized that there was nobody running the lights, and they were just on these pre-programmed shitty loops. And so I went and asked, hey, who's the light guy? And the sound guy, the sound guy was like, "What light guy?" Right? So I was like, "Hey, can because that was a some good, like, I don't know. That was a really good lineup. And I was like, man, like, Dying Fetus, I think, was headlining one of the days. I'm like, they can't have these like cheap fucking karaoke bar lights. You know what I mean? Like, we got to have some lights. So I asked around, like, who's in charge? Can I do this? And they're like, sure. You know how to run lights? And I was like, yeah, I know how to, yeah, sure. I'm like, it's
lights.
like a mixer. You got buttons on it. I'm like, I push this
Totally.
one, red lights come on. I push this one, green lights come on. I was like,
that was definitely like the thing with the Steve from Faceless. He was like, I've talked about it before on here, but like he was obsessed with lights. Like he was like, I'm gonna find something to do on fucking tour because I'm bored out of my ass. And we were playing like Summer Slaughter. We were playing all like the big like House of Blueses and all like these big venues and stuff. And he was like, I'm gonna learn the lights. He's like, I'm gonna fucking figure this shit out. And then I would sit there and hang with him, and he'd teach me the lights. And then I'd do lights for Faceless because I knew every single part of every song that they did. I knew every stop, I know all their timings. So I was like sitting there like fucking trying to get like trying to be like the crowd thing, trying to like but it's like
running
there were
the
some lights where
spots.
they were more like self-explanatory, where it was like, yeah, it's just a row of lights, and then you have the crowd lights, and then you could just do like this a bunch, and then like make it like kind of cool, and like put a spotlight on Mike Keane and put one on fucking Steve and stuff. And there was the funniest thing ever though. I remember, I think that I brought this up before. I think I was the only guy ever where Steve was just all like looking at me on stage. He's just all, more lights. Like he's like trying to give me to do like, it's not like more monitors or more. It's like
Right.
he's like giving me
too
like
dark.
light stuff. Like
Yeah.
shit.
It's not theatric enough, dude.
Yeah, it's like fucking like it's like a 250 or it's like 300 or 400 people at least, and like he's like, dude, more lights, dude. I need
We've
lights.
already talked about Entheos tonight, but we got to give Naveen a shout out once again because there was Entheos tour that he also was doing the lights while he was.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that just learned something and
multifaceted.
yeah, he'll like.
But he even said, I think I remember him saying it was fucking tough work, and he probably realized that he shouldn't have took that on. But
well, no,
many things,
he does all anything that Naveen like sets his mind to is like, I'm gonna do fucking this. Like he just fucking is in a room for weeks until it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that gets it, and he tries to play it off like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Like,
yeah.
he's like, I suck. He's one of those guys.
That's the perfect. Yeah. I think that's the attitude you would want in a homie that is a brilliant artist.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he does the same thing.
You wouldn't want your homie being like, I know I'm the sickest. You
don't even know like what he can do with fucking blinds, dude, because that's like what his job is blinds. He's like making a fucking insane income on blinds, and he never talks about it ever.
You're talking about blinds on windows?
Like, yeah, he can like, because I don't know if I can you've seen it before, but it's that like kind of triangle window I have at the top of my, because it's kind of an A-frame.
Yeah. It's the one you look out to because you're in like a little treehouse bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and like I was like, dude, can you like get like some sort of like thing where I could like press a button and like it like comes down? He's like, yeah, I could do it, but it's fucking gonna be expensive as shit because like it's a fucking triangle that has blinds come down,
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I could do it, but it's gonna be super expensive. And I was like, damn, like I don't even know how that even works. Like besides like pressing a button and a blanket drops, I have no idea. You know what I mean?
Just a quick release. Like,
yeah, it's just like, and then you have to
how
roll
do I get it back
up
up there? Yeah. Need a ladder at night. You gotta climb
just
up
put a big rubber band on it so it just sinks back up. Like it's like a belt that just brings it back up.
Yeah.
But no, he's really good. Blinds are actually fucking pretty gnarly. Having him explain a little bit to me, but yeah, he's one of those guys. He nerds out when he focuses on something. It's just like, I'm gonna be the best. He's like one of those guys.
Well, I tried to take. I had blinds break upstairs, and I tried to take it apart and put it back together. You can't.
Totally.
Once it's taken apart, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, there's no way it's getting back together.
Yeah,
and working properly.
Totally. It's a fucking, if you're in the blind industry and you're good at it, like you're gonna make some fucking money.
We're blind
Shout
at the
out the
wheel
blind
right now,
industry.
just driving through 10-foot weeds, dude. And we're all blind at the wheel, just trying to get through it right now, and it's taking over us, dude. No, I think we're creeping up at a good time, dude.
So I have a I have kind of a just a little send off. Yep.
I send this. I agree with Murray. Yes.
So we mentioned it earlier, so I kind of want to. I just thought about it, so I have it saved. But
circling back.
circling back, a little back circle. But we were talking about Severed Savior at Pacifica.
Oh,
So I have
shit.
it queued
Yeah,
up.
I forgot about that.
So you probably like to do a little. It's just one song, so could
Oh,
fucking
nice.
bring you guys back a little bit for
Rad.
I wouldn't mind watching this. I haven't seen this in a while.
F word to the humans.
F word the humans.
Actually, before we get started, Anthony, you shouted out your wife at that event. What was that? What song did you give her?
Yeah, it was her birthday, and we just so happened to start the set with a song that may not be so nice to women, but it was all for the joke. It was for the laugh. I wanted to start the set with telling her how much I loved her, telling everybody how much I love her, and how it was her birthday. Happy birthday. Okay, let's start the song. This song's called "Bury the Whore," and then we just started. and I will say that my wife knew what I was doing there, and she laughed with me.
Good.
Looked right at her while I was saying it, and she giggled as soon as the song started, dude. Because she knows what's up, dude.
Yeah. That's
She's
a good
been
joke.
with me
If
since I was.
If your wife's in on the
dude.
joke, then fuck yeah, that's fucking awesome, dude.
I didn't tell her that I was gonna say it though. That's
yeah.
what makes it even better is that she didn't know it was coming, and she still laughed with me. You know.
Well, because everyone in Pacifica knows.
It didn't matter about who was there. I literally was looking at her, and it was for her, and everybody else giggled. And
all your friends in Pacifica know that's your fucking woman. So it's like it's like a joke. If you were like in Arizona and did it, it'd be a little weird. But you're at your
I'd
hometown
still do
show
it for her if she was there in Arizona. I would.
Yeah, if she was there. Yeah. All right, so let's go back to Pacifica. First show of the tour, second show of you guys playing for the last.
No, this
is
just how we kicked off Servile right here this night.
I don't know how big this is, but I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Last time people were saying it wasn't loud enough. God. Look at Murdog. Yeah. Murray.
No long hair.
Oh, we got some Troy footage.
There you
Jeff
go.
Hugel.
The main man.
Oh, that guy's phone. Killing me.
Right in the position it should not be.
You're recording on the way of recording.
I love this part right here.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying.
God damn.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is Jazz Park. Can we just say fucking how amazing
Everybody
this
be
is,
quiet.
Mike?
Quiet.
God damn. That is a good band right there.
Oh,
So you
Very
guys-
fun,
Yeah.
very
I'm
fun
just letting
songs to
you-
play, dude.
That's, I
Very,
mean, that part
very
going from the
songs
jazz
to play.
break, Mike, is it true? I heard rumors that you don't know much about music theory or something like that, because that sounds insane. I don't even know, like going from that like clear or that that clean part, that super demonic sounding twisty clean part. I know a little. Okay, good.
I think
Thank
that
you.
was a kind of a misinterpretation of
But I don't really think that you need
Mike's
to know
humble
it.
attempt at answering a question.
Yeah, I know. I feel like he's
You
always
don't need to be
downplaying.
like, you don't need to
Yeah.
be super into it, but you could also tap into like you can find the feeling and run with it and end up by ear just becoming a sick player. There's probably so many examples of that across the board with what we listen to. There may be so many people out there that don't even look into music theory, but they just know, they figure out what sounds good and then they run with it. But I don't think Gilbert's like that at all, dude. I think there's no way that you can have those riffs and not
Yeah.
know anything about music theory. It's
That's where
impossible.
I think that the story about him not knowing a lot about theory was because he's being humble and he plays more for the feel of it than the technicality of
Oh, totally.
is this in Phrygian or what shape am I playing this in, or all that stuff. Like all the theory that I know, which is not a lot for a guitar player, but being that I don't play guitar,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I've learned a lot of chords. I've learned from
that's brutal.
osmosis or proximity conversations with Mike. So yeah, but definitely it's definitely always been more about feel.
Oh, totally. I
than-
mean,
Well,
actually,
the
how I
invention
say.
of music is before music theory. So it's like
Yeah,
we figured out music before we organized it and figured out the math
Yeah.
and all that shit. It was all feeling before that.
well, I know what you
Kind of
mean,
wanna-
Mike, because Mike, actually, last night I've been playing a lot more guitar lately. I got this little fucking Katana amp. It's like a wireless, cool little practice amp I put in my living room now, and it's a wireless little thing I could just jam on my couch now. And I was like, fuck, I need to like get my alternate picking back. So I pulled up fucking Fecal Philiac and I learned pretty much everything up until the solo because I didn't want to do that. But I was like paying attention to like what you were choosing for notes, and I was like, that's definitely not like, I don't think that's really on a scale. But the thing is, it sounds like it works. You know what I mean? It's like a decrepit riff, kind of like a matte riff, where it's like it's not really like on a scale, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it has a flowing vibe to it, and it also goes to the heavy chords and kind of like matches up to that. But it's not like, I don't think it's I don't think it's a scale. Is there no solo on that song? Fuck, maybe I'm fucking that up. I didn't get far enough. But I feel like that's the best picking exercise is Fecal Philiac. I think if you're like wanting to relearn and get tight with alternate picking, I feel like that's your exercise. Like that fucking beginning and that middle. I mean, also too, you can start slow and work at it, but like if you just keep it consistent with your alternate picking, it's all actually went on online. Even though Mike sent me all the tabs a long time ago, I have them on here, but I went online and it's like perfect. And if you guys are ever trying to work on your chops, that shit, it's just a good exercise. I just sat there for like an hour just working on it, and it was like fucking made strides in an hour, So I don't know. Check it out if you guys want to play the fiddle.
do some alternate string skipping, picking, slant, fecal. Oh, I read that wrong.
You do downward. I mean, I
downward
can
dog,
do it.
fecal
I
picking.
can do that, but it's I have a
Downward
twitch.
dog.
I have a twitch where I can do that, but I want to work on my alternate picking. It makes it hard. Like that song, alternate picking is way harder than down picking to me because I have a twitch. Though I'm on Twitch. With Twitch.
Alternate picking is harder than down picking. Well, I think that because alternate
For me, it
picking makes it to where you can play things faster, right?
Yeah.
So
But I've always had
down
I've had
picking
the-
each note is harder.
Well, I've had the natural twitch. I remember,
More brutal.
yeah, Greg from Allegiant, like,
You
was
had the
like,
caveman twitch.
yeah, he was all like, "Hey, let's do a lesson," and he gave me a couple lessons, and I was like, "I just want to get out of this down picking thing," and I down picked a riff. He's all, "That's sick. Keep doing that. Like, what are you doing?" he was like, I was like, "No, that's not what I wanted to hear. I don't want to hear because like it doesn't feel like I have consistency if I'm gonna be down picking that fast. It feels like it's gonna be like." Sometimes my wrist just won't be into fucking
Just
twitching like that.
Won't twitch as hard.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So, I don't
isn't
know.
that like the Dallas style? Is down picking all crazy or no?
No.
No. Who does the
Gorgasm.
crazy down? Okay.
Gorgasm's like that's like their badge of honor a little bit, but they still do alternate picking. But anyways,
Well,
not to
actually,
call him out.
Chris Beatty's got some crazy
He's
down picking
insane.
style.
No, he's got it down. He's got it completely down. Like he can do any technique he wants. That guy is.
Yeah, that guy. And how old is he, dude?
I think
he's
he's
the
24,
same
turning
age-
25, or he's 25.
He's still in his 20s.
Yeah. No, he's
Aw,
24.
dude, that
like,
dude
recently.
is. That dude's. Oh my god, dude. I'm fortunate to have him be involved in this podcast at all because that dude's gonna blow the fuck up, dude.
Totally.
He's climbing hard. He just started his climb too. I mean, I'm not saying that like Zenith Pastures isn't something great to be in, but like I think that Chris can,
immediately getting like.
exceed all that and get somewhere crazy, dude. I think.
Well, I think for him, he needs to just. I think this is a good way to get his name out. I think it's a great way to get his name out. But I also think that he's got such good music that he's written that it'll be a good pathway for him to show off what he can do with his own music.
And we're also very fortunate to have listened to it that most people haven't. He's got like 2 albums of Dreamer shit, dude.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Definitely. No, he's got like multiple albums. He's got like 4 albums or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Something crazy.
Some insane.
27 albums.
He's got 38 albums. For each year he's been born, he's written an album.
By the end of this podcast, like Chris Beatty's the next Zappa, dude. He's gonna have like 90 records when he dies, dude.
Totally. Yeah, he's in his prime right now, man. He's killing it. But I'm gonna raid.
I was just about to ask you that. Who are we gonna do?
I'm probably gonna raid Nicole again because that's the only one that's. I mean, I love Nicole, and I've fucked up with her fucking trying to raid her like 5 times.
No, you were successful last time, right? We pulled it off last time, right?
Yeah, but there's not that many people online, and I want to raid like someone different every time. But she's fucking a badass, and she's actually gonna be on a TV show, by the way.
Whoa!
I saw it with it's with fucking like Tosin's one of the judges. I'm supposed to say like John Petrucci's a judge. And like all these other judges, they're judging these metal bands.
Yeah, so mad for that.
On
yeah.
what channel?
Yeah.
What is it for?
It's on like
on Tosin's thing. Yeah,
it's like a TV thing. I think almost.
It's like actual cable, like when you're on satellite.
It might be. It looks really professional. They have like people like from like the biggest bands on there, and it's like.
I know, but so is it an internet thing or is it going to be on TV? Either way,
I don't know.
want to
Chad,
find. I want to
Chad,
find.
you guys
this.
seen that shit? I don't know. That's like, but anyways,
it's a metal
like
American Idol.
Yeah, which, American Idol. Actually, this is actually a sick version of American Idol because I remember I watched a compilation on how all like musicians are like American Idol's the cancer of music. Like it's the worst thing to happen to music since fucking I forget. But this is actually a metal version.
American
so
Idol
like,
shows you what everybody's into, and then you realize, oh, dude, everybody fucking hates music, dude.
Yeah, well, it just shows like executives. It shows like $1 million executives going like, "This is what we'll sell, and this is will do great." It's not like this is what you'll like. It's like this is what the 13 to 18 demographic is gonna love. It's like, well, I mean, it's not like anything exciting anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna fucking rate her. She's a fucking badass. But anyways. I love you, Troy.
I think that she probably just streams at the same time we do on Thursdays or whatever. That's probably
No. I think she's always streaming on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Scott Carstairs was on there too. I was gonna rate him, but he took off.
He's always wraps up by like 9, like
yeah,
6 to 9.
Definitely.
Yeah.
69. But
dude,
but yeah, we're going over to there right now. But
Right on.
Troy's
wrap this
in.
up though.
Troy's in with the redemption. Got the plenty volume on the mic tonight.
Yeah, you know what? I turned it up a little bit before this just to make sure. I was like,
Just to
worst
make
case scenario. Yeah. Because I had the same issue on the first couple streams. People like, I can't hear you. I'm like, fuck, it's blowing out my eardrums, but
Well,
it's
at the
different on
time
the
that
other end.
we were still very, very infantile when you guys came on. So like everybody was just like stoked to have everybody
Like,
on. So
yeah.
we didn't really think about like
Right.
levels of vocals, or not vocals, but like just microphones. But dude, I'm very happy that you came back on with us. I know I'm very
Hell yeah.
inebriated right now, but I think I can still talk straight. So I'm gonna take us out on you're raiding Nicole right now. Let's make sure that that's successful before I
It
say
did.
goodbye.
No, she's making. Yeah, she's calling us out and shit.
It's
Nice, cool. All right, well, rock on, everybody. We love you. Like, subscribe, hit the buttons, notifications. Twitch and YouTube, please. If you haven't hit all the buttons, just hit all the buttons for us, and go
All the
over
stuffs.
to Severed Troy Drums on Twitch
yeah.
and follow that. Subscribe to that. Throw him some bits when he's streaming, and hit that severedsavior.us for your swag. And yeah,
Everybody's calling it drip now. I don't know why. But
Drip?
It's old, I
It's
guess.
I don't know.
called
Drip. I don't know. Yeah, people are saying drip now. I don't
shut the
understand. Like,
fuck up, dude.
you don't
It
even know
sounds
drip.
messy.
Yeah,
I don't know drip,
You
dude.
know
Is
drip
it
by now.
lit? So I gotta get some lit drip. That's
Get
what
some lip drip.
Yeah.
kids are
Yeah.
saying now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bobby
that
drip,
drip
dude.
is lit, bro. Severed Savior's got some lit drip at severedsavior.us, guys. Straight up, it drips.
You'll be soaked. You'll be wet on that shit.
It drips,
Yeah.
and then as soon as it drips, then
drips
it
hard.
lights up. It's lit, dude. And
Drips hard, and you can beat
Yeah.
it out. Dude, thank you guys for having me on.
Fuck yeah,
This-
Troy. I love you,
Yeah.
buddy.
This
Troy.
is mostly an
Love you
episode
too,
of being
buddy.
in the weeds. It's been a blast.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
dude.
already did the fucking breakdown of your life, so we gotta fucking get in the weeds.
Right.
We gotta go
And
a little
just
dirty.
so everybody knows, I don't give a fuck if you don't like the weeds. I like to be in the weeds, dude.
I like in the weeds too.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say earlier, the weeds are kind of where the character is and what
Yeah.
the charm of
totally.
it is, really, to be honest.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's
For sure,
Exactly,
because
dude.
it gets into
Yeah.
more random shit people can relate to.
I
And
think that's what makes Cali Death podcast. So come back next week. We'll be
you get
doing
the
it
real
again.
real.
Let's
Hell
see
yeah.
what kind of weeds we get into next week, guys. All right.
fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Rock on, Nicole.
Peace.
We love you, and rock on to everybody else. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.